not the time loop one. I'm sure I'll know what that means when I get to it.
How's it going? Yeah, the time loop one. So it's just the conundrum versus cause and effect. Just from the titles, I get them mixed up, and I know some other people have said they do too. Just from the titles, conundrum versus cause and effect. This is the one that's not cause and effect. This is conundrum.
Wait a minute. This is also not the one where Data gets instructions to never let the information out of his hard drive.
No, that's a different one too.
Now
This
this
is
is
the
the
one
one.
where Worf relives different parallel,
Nope, that's
moments.
That's a different
Okay.
one.
Or is this the one where the planet keeps phasing in and out of existence?
Nope.
That's a different
No,
series.
that's also a different one.
Oh, that's a whole different series. Oh my.
Hey,
that's
is
Deep
this the
Space
one?
Nine.
Is this the one where the aliens don't have good weapons, but they can mess with people's minds? I think
Yes.
that's what it is, right? Hey, that is
Yes,
the one. Okay.
that is the one.
Hey, you figured
With
it
Commander
out.
Take me a minute.
Take McDuff. That
Macduff.
It's
Macbeth.
McDuff. Fuck that guy.
there's one outtake for Commander McDuff that I really like, but it cuts off at a really awkward point. Where at some point they're like yelling at each other, and Commander McDuff says no in a really dramatic way. And everyone turns to him and is like, "No, McDuff," just sort of making fun of the way he said that line. But it cuts off like halfway through. They say McDuff, and it's weird. It's hard to fit in. Need to get that at some point. No, this isn't the one where wait, what? Signal, what? Wait, I don't remember an episode where Worf eats a baby. That doesn't come to mind.
Is that a thing? Is that just a fever dream that Faint Signal had?
I think that might have been a fever dream.
That's definitely a fever dream.
I mean, like, usually my dreams are just really boring things. Like, I'll dream that I responded to someone on Discord, and then I'll wake up. It's like, oh wait, I still need to get back to them, or on email.
There was some character in an Austin Powers movie who said he did that, but that was just an offhand comment, even so.
Okay.
That bastard. Yeah.
Eat the baby.
The first episode today is the Masterpiece Society with it's the episode where everybody who was cast in it must have felt really good about themselves, because it's an episode all about genetically perfect people. Hypothetically genetically perfect, at least.
I don't think they're genetically perfect. I think they're engineered to fit the role in society that they need to.
The famous quote,
Okay.
if this is the right one, the famous quote that I remember from Captain Picard is, they've given away their humanity.
With this genetic manipulation. I wouldn't want to
To a
live my
degree, but,
life
like-
knowing that my future was written.
It's not genetically perfect though, because like you could
not?
be engineered to be a really great I don't know, violin player, but you'd still be human otherwise.
I could have sworn that one of the plot points was whoever created this society in the first place made it like their own perfect utopian.
Well, so the idea
Okay.
is that everybody fits into the role that they're designed for.
Yeah.
So like you never have to worry, like you never have to go through the struggle of being a high school kid taking all these random aptitude tests and thinking, what the hell am I going to do with my life? It's just, I am born and bred to be an administrator. I will be the administrator when I get to age, and that's all I'll do.
Now, tragically, there's one character in this who, I don't remember what role he plays in the episode, but I know he's not a lawyer. Which is tragic because he's also the character who plays the Klingon lawyer in Deep Space Nine. Chapak. I don't remember what his title
He's
was.
not a lawyer, but they do
Oh,
call him a
advocate.
judge.
Yeah. Ron Canada. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
a guy. He was on TV all the time in the 90s.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. He always
he-
plays a cop or an
What
attorney.
was his name?
pretty
Ron?
much. Ron Canada.
Ron Canada. Okay.
Yep.
Canada!
Yeah, he's
Oh,
still
he's been in
acts,
everything.
yeah, I think he was in. He's in the Star Trek Voyager episode Juggernaut. Also,
Okay. Is that the one where... No, wait. Is that the one where B'Elanna, like, changed a missile to be a ship and alive? Also 45 seconds to start,
Yeah.
everyone be queued up.
That was
Or is that Dreadnought?
Dreadnought.
no, this is
That's-
the irradiated ship one.
Oh, okay. With the Malon.
Right.
Okay.
Two different spellings of not.
Yes. So yeah, that's season 5, episode 13. 20 seconds to start. Everyone be queued up. And hopefully everything is set up correctly. Hopefully you are, in fact, able to hear everybody on Discord and not just talking to myself. That would be ideal.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. That perspective really makes that star just look tiny.
It's not really a star, though.
Actually,
It's
yeah,
just
it
a-
is. Disintegrated neutron star. It's just a core of a star. It's still way
Yeah.
smaller than it should be, I think, but that's better at least.
Actually, no. I mean, a neutron star is like the size of a city, typically.
If that were as massive as it is tiny, then the
Oh, yeah,
Enterprise
12.5
would
miles
probably
across.
not be able to have an orbit this close to it. They
Yeah,
would
right,
crash
yeah.
into it.
Enterprise is too close to it.
Yeah,
Oh,
Star Trek
certainly.
gets perspective on a lot of this stuff wrong a lot. Like the Enterprise should look tiny in orbit of any planet, or
I know
a planet that's decently sized anyway.
That's a big problem
True.
for the Defiance. They keep changing its relative size to other things constantly.
okay. I remember in one of the, well, I say new Star Trek, but they're like 10 years old at this point. The JJ-verse Star Trek. There's one bit where they're like, "Oh, we're being pulled out of warp," and they're trying to return to Earth, and they're being chased by someone. It's like, "We're being pulled out of warp," and they're just next to the moon. It's like half a second later, you would have crashed into Earth.
Yeah.
You're already there. They can see you.
That's what they all say.
That's literally what he said when he was a Borg. We mean no harm.
They're not focused on his face. What
Don't worry about it.
focus?
Who's the director of this episode?
They were focused on his hair.
What hair? Oh, there he is. There's the advocate to his left, walking behind him. Now he's gone.
Winrich Colby.
That's not the advocate.
No, the director.
Oh, the director. It's like, no,
Yeah, see, they're
that's Ron
focused on his
Canada. We
hair.
just established that.
Yeah, Ron Canada behind him on the right. And this guy is John Snyder. He was also in the Star Trek Next Generation episode, The Enemy.
Oh, right. He was the Romulan who was on the planet with Geordi.
Exactly. Yep.
He
Jeez,
played Centurion Bakra.
Exactly.
beyond 8.7 on the Richter scale, there's some massive earthquake.
Yeah,
What-
buildings are
What did
going
they
to
say
be
it was?
toppled.
What, 0.7?
8.7.
8.7.
Oh, yeah, that's big.
That's gigantic. That's almost.
They
the
didn't just say
biggest earthquake
beyond, they
I've
said
ever
way
heard of.
beyond.
Yeah, that camera is a little too zoomed in. It needs to back up. By the way, people in the
Breathing
YouTube
in
chat, how's the relative volume between me and the other people in Discord? I think we've pretty much got it nailed down at this point. But, you know, I can never be quite sure.
By him saying way beyond, we can pretty much assume it's on the order of 20 trillion tons of 20 trillion kilograms of TNT.
20 trillion kilograms. I cannot conceive that. I can't even conceive 1 kilogram.
What do you have to lose, Ron? Okay, so they can hear. They can hear the transporter effect. I had the question like 3 months ago. Can they hear transporters? Apparently, yes. Ron Canada just heard the transporter go off.
Thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron. Oh,
I
yeah, we
mean,
had
Ron
another
Canada
comment.
can hear everything.
Canada can hear everything, you say.
Yes.
So this is the society where everybody grows up knowing what their life's purpose is explicitly.
Yeah.
Not okay. This is not the society where everybody's
Jesus.
everybody's a clone of one of 4 people.
No, that was
a
season
different
2 episode
too.
with Pulaski.
Okay. There's a
That was also the
very,
Space
very-
Irish episode.
Hmm.
Not the Space Scottish, the Space Irish.
oh, okay, that's another one too, right? These are God's noble animals, and
Yes, they are.
so there's a very, very, very good young adult novel from 1993. It was given the Newbery Medal that year, called The Giver, and it's been a very popular novel ever since it was written. It was adapted fairly decently into a motion picture in 2014 by Jeff Bridges. And in that society, you grow up. It's a very guided process of you figuring out, of the elders of the society figuring out what you are good at. And then when you reach age 12, you're told, this is your life's purpose. We've figured it out for you. And then you spend your teenage years training for it, and you become an adult, and you're an expert in it. And there's
It's convenient,
that-
at least.
it's convenient, but the whole point of that is that it's actually a dystopia, even though it appears as a utopia.
Okay,
Clearly stole it from this episode of Star Trek.
clearly. An engineered society.
Ron Canada.
Is he putting on an accent, or does he just sound like that? He sounds interesting. There's no way that's his natural voice.
Eight generations, that's about 240 years.
Okay. So yeah, they do consider themselves genetically superior. Maybe not perfect exactly, but better.
The fact that Martin looked down when he said no offense intended rather than at Geordi is very telling.
Yeah, I think that voice is an affectation. This dude's from Boston.
Oh, that would have been amazing to hear this with a Boston accent.
Boston, the perfect society.
The absolute perfect man is a Bostonian. Genetically, the pinnacle.
I'm a genetic engineer.
Let's go have some
Bounce
camo.
boss.
I'm
Society.
wicked perfect.
But then they would have had to have Ron Canada speak in a Boston accent.
Which would have been perfect. I don't know what the problem is.
Okay. What is that sculpture? It's a cube with a stick in it.
That's set on top of
cylinders.
another stick, with another stick on its side.
Oh, nice outdoor.
That's a
another
lovely matte
sculpture.
painting they have there.
Yeah,
Well, they've got a perfect matte painter, apparently.
They do.
yeah.
They trained their entire lives. They knew what they were going to be a matte painter from birth. They might be mining dilithium on some asteroid.
They might have gone to college for one major, and 3 years later they never do it again because they're now working in a completely different field. That's like
Don't
the
call me
story
out
of.
like that.
I didn't call you out. I was thinking of somebody else I know, but still a real
Tricky
life
comment.
example. That happens all the time in the United
Yeah.
States, unfortunately. We could sure use some improvement in that in our own society.
This actress is Dae Young, probably best known for her feature role in Rock and Roll High School in 1979. But she's been on a couple episodes of Star Trek series also.
So Troy's just here to visit now. I guess she's not doing anything else today. She's got time. Oh. Hannah was shocked. What was this? It was beyond her understanding, even though she's a perfectly engineered theoretical physicist.
It's too late to save me. The damage is done.
Shot through the heart, yada yada yada.
But who's to blame? Well, that sounds boring. Absolutely nothing unexpected.
Yeah, that admittedly, that's a necessity that human beings have to have. Humans require a certain amount of predictability and a certain amount of unpredictability to keep themselves grounded in life, breakfast, lunch, dinner, sleep, and also exciting.
I mean, would you want to live your life knowing that your future was written? That your boundaries had been already set? Etc., etc.
Or to put it another way, is that really true intrinsically for everybody anyway? And they're just the only people who explicitly know that. Oh, look at that. There's that graph there that had, what do you call them?
Error bars.
Yeah. I wasn't sure that was the right term.
Those look like really big error bars, though. That I do not have a lot of confidence in that graph.
Box plot. That's the other word I'm trying to think of. Box plot.
What if you just nudge it a little bit so it goes to the side? You don't have to, reverse its direction. Just nudge it.
They've got giant
Give it a
space
bump.
Easter eggs on their wall.
Multi-phase tractor beam. Okay.
1.21 gigawatts.
Okay, so Hannah contributed, even though she, doesn't even know what a transporter is. She can make significant improvements to our existing technology. Good for you, Hannah. Jeez, chill, man. You can come back.
It'll be a day long remembered.
You see, this is a problem that we have. The intentions of the founders, you could change based on new information. You don't have to always go with the information from 250 years ago.
Yeah. Yep.
There you go. Thank you, whatever this guy's name is.
What is his name?
I know the actor is John.
It
call him
really
John.
doesn't matter.
Thanks, John.
Oh wait, he said his name when he was first
He
on
plays
the screen.
Aaron Connor. Pay attention, guys.
God.
Right. I remember that now.
I think they maybe said it once.
It doesn't matter. His name is. Who cares?
So nobody
His name is Chowda because he's from Boston.
Okay. The only
So
person we
nobody
care
ever-
about here is Ron Canada. He's the
nobody
only
ever
good one.
left, and nobody ever came back or whatever until today. Is this like that Planet in the Hitchhiker's Guide where you have to get a receipt every time you go to the laboratory?
Sure. You're born in the vault, you die in the vault. Okay, they have some. Are those new cups? They're not Target brand. Well, they might be, but the tea is so black that we can't see it. I assume it's Earl Grey.
Hot.
There's the line for you.
Could be coffee.
Yeah, I thought it was coffee. It's pretty dark for Earl Grey.
Maybe it's. I don't know how tea works. Is it? It's triple strong tea.
That's not tea. No way. In reality, it's probably flat Diet Coke, but whatever.
There's a supercut of Picard's inspirational speeches, and when he says my boundaries had already been set, it cuts to. This is going to sound very unspecific. The episode with the time traveler, where he gives the line, "A person's life hinges on each of 1,000 choices, but these people can't make any choices. It's a recurring theme." Rasmussen, that was the time traveler's name, the fake guy.
Living is making choices.
Headroom.
Do I ask Adrienne or Suzanne to the spring dance?
I'd go with Adrienne.
She seems nicer.
Yeah. Suzanne's kind of stuck up. And she's nice enough, but she's not great. She's okay.
Actually, once you live enough of life, you can look back on high school like that, for example, and say, "Oh my gosh, look in all the different directions that our lives went that nobody even predicted or could have expected." And yeah, those two people got married and they had 4 kids now, and the other ones turned Amish or whatever. Yeah.
I only know what exactly one person from my high school has done. Or rather, I know what they did a few years later, and I have no idea what they've done in the last 4 or 5 years. Not a clue.
Okay, wait. So Jordy just said that his eyelids were heavy, right? So when he wears his visor, does he have to keep his eyes open?
I mean, I don't think it's really a thing of have to. He just does.
Because if it's just hardwired into his brain or whatever, what he's quote unquote seeing isn't actually involving his eye, then couldn't he close his eyes conceivably and just wouldn't be a difference?
I suppose so. But on the other hand, he keeps his eyes open normally here, so that means that he's still exercising his eye muscles and his eyelid muscles. So
Let me look up Google because I don't know any blind people. Do blind people keep their eyes open?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be Jordy. It could just be blind people right now anyway, but strange. I mean, obviously you wouldn't want to close your eyes for risk of nodding off, but it's just you could rest your eyes occasionally, couldn't you?
Well, I don't know this for certain either because I don't know any blind people, but my understanding, even if it's incorrect, is that certain blind people wear dark sunglasses so that other people are not distracted by the directions that their eyes are pointing in.
Yeah.
Also, sunglasses are cool, so makes you look cool.
100,000 terahertz seems a little excessive. What do humans do? A few tens of thousands?
Terahertz? What? That's way beyond gamma rays, isn't it?
Let me look up the electromagnetic spectrum real quick. Yes, technobabble, blah, blah, blah. Move along.
If we can somehow harness this lightning, channel it. 1.21 gigawatts.
Gamma rays hertz.
Also, to be fair, I don't know if anything is after gamma rays. I don't know. It certainly might be.
Gamma rays have a frequency of about 10 to the 19th hertz.
That's far above tera. No, he said 100 terahertz.
100,000 terahertz.
100,000 terahertz. Okay, hang on. How many zeros are in a terahertz?
So that's a peta. 100 peta.
That's 12.
Yeah.
100,000 would be 10 to the 15.
So yeah, that's not quite the entire gamma ray range.
That's the gentle part of the gamma ray range.
That's very useful, though, in case, he can literally sense radiation leaks just by looking. That's really useful in case it ever happens.
I don't think he can see radio waves, though. He can see up to 1 hertz. Okay, so he can see some radio waves, but not most.
But it would depend upon the size of them, because he's only got the distance of his visors to see them anyway.
Is this the one where this guy says my grandfather was buried on that mountain? Or is that a different episode?
That's a different episode.
How many times have we said that so far?
Oh, wait, no, that scale was in meters. I thought it was in hertz. Dang it.
Oh, you were looking at the inverse. You were looking at the wavelength?
Yeah, I was looking at the wavelength. Yeah, I don't know if 100,000 hertz is enough to see why kids love the taste of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah.
Pretty hard to see.
Pretty funny in the chat today, Jesus.
Is it enough to see how many licks take you to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Well, see, we already established
3.
that. It's 3. Everybody knows this. Mr.
just
Owl
science.
taught you.
Perhaps.
The question isn't why we tell our children such ghastly stories. The question is why we water down the ghastly stories. Why don't we do the full, like, Brothers Grimm stories, where everybody dies in the end? People, like, get boiled alive. It's great.
Well, on tvtropes.org, that's called the sliding scale between Grimmification and Disneyfication.
Actually, weren't the Grimm tales themselves watered down a bit?
I don't know, but I know that if they are, the source must have been really horrifying, because the Grimm tales are just...
No, that's true.
What is wrong with them?
Yeah, Germans. What can you do?
Ah, yes. You tell your children the story. If they keep sucking their thumb, a strange man will come into their home, and while they're sleeping, cut it off with shears. Why?
What? What story was that?
It's Germany, man. That's just what they're like.
Mm-hmm.
But which story?
I don't know. I don't know what it's called. I just know that's a story where they just cut your thumb off with shears.
This place is crazy sometimes.
Casual relationships like that happen way too often, I think, in Star Trek. Because they've all got to end by the end of the episode.
I mean, it's not really a relationship. They're just, taking advantage of the opportunity.
She looks like a school teacher somehow right here. At least to me.
The turtle.
Maybe I'm thinking of a teacher I once had.
Maybe.
I think she just looks very 90s.
She resembles She resembles the elementary teacher for Alexander that we had a few episodes ago.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
She does.
Yeah.
Klingons do not listen to teachers.
Fucking liar.
His name is spelled Connor, Conor.
I mean, Amazon says that, but I don't know if I believe it, because it's frequently wrong.
Well, Amazon... Well, I'm using... Wait, are you talking about the closed captions?
Yeah, I'm talking about the Amazon subtitles.
Well, the closed captions, though, should be the same... should be the exact same data set as was written when the episodes were first made.
They say that, but we've also had multiple episode titles be wrong.
Yeah, they fixed one. They fixed the spelling of what was the third episode last week in DS9?
Wait, they've actually fixed
Begotten.
it since last week?
Yeah, they fixed Begotten. They tweeted back at me twice. They fixed Begotten, but the other one is it has the and it shouldn't be
The
the.
Rapture.
The rapture, yeah, that's
right.
still wrong, but they fixed the spelling of begotten, so we got a 50% return on my tweets anyway.
Okay. Wow. I was expecting a 0% return.
Me too.
I have to wonder if maybe there's actually a licensing fee for the captioning transcripts, and maybe Amazon was like, "We're not going to pay that. We'll just hire somebody to do it."
I have noticed throughout every watch along various spelling errors in this, and like words that are in the subtitles that are just omitted from the show. So I don't have a lot of faith in them. I just don't usually bring it up.
I mean, so words that are omitted from the script that are actually in the captions is something that I can't explain. But there is an effect for the captions where sometimes they are shorter than what is actually spoken because the scenes change, and in order to make it look like the words are keeping up with the actors, they have to be a little shorter.
Yeah.
The Netflix ones are ripped straight from the CD.
Excuse me. You mean the DVD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's a very old format of the closed captions.
Yeah.
Oh, Connor's going down the slippery slope. He let one person leave. Now he's talking about 50 people coming down.
You may notice
Soon
when
this
you watch
place will
stuff
be swarming with Starfleet.
with closed captioning, it'll say where it was captioned, and it's often WGBH, which is a very big East Coast television station in
Boston.
It all comes around.
Is it the PBS station? It's like a famous
Yeah,
PBS
that's
station.
exactly what it is.
They produce a lot of very popular PBS shows, including This Old House.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, I didn't know 50 Starfleet constitute a swarm.
Here's another question, though.
Thank you, Mr. Bears.
Looking at this situation from the residents' point of view, think of them as like the Native Americans who saw the Europeans coming in, and they could see the complete change and I don't know, fragmentation of their entire world, their entire society, their entire culture, if they let them intrude. Interesting to think about it that way too.
They're pushing a neutron star.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens. They're not that heavy, right?
The stellar core fragment was way too heavy. Neutron star, easy. Barely an inconvenience.
If they were to actually try and push the neutron star, the Enterprise would go like several million kilometers the other direction.
It's a tractor beam. Don't worry about it. It's space magic.
I mean, just like last season, we had an episode where the moon of a planet was falling out of its orbit, and the moon would obviously be way smaller and less dense than a stellar core fragment.
You okay?
Don't keep pushing. You might eventually get it.
Oh, I think that's where there was an outtake. When Geordi does this little slide over to the station, he just falls out of his chair.
Yeah.
We'll get to that eventually.
Stupid? Is this stupid, this idea? Like, I haven't decided.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But it's dramatic.
Yeah, but it's just like, oh, this is so stupid.
It was the 90s, man. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Everything was radical.
How are they losing life support? What's happening there?
They're using up so much energy to push the core.
But surely, like, if they just stop, energy will come back, and who cares if they lose life support for like 5 minutes? There's still air. It's not going to go anywhere.
That's true. They do act like losing life support is instant death.
Except in those episodes when the script calls for them to, like, be super cold and start breathing carbon dioxide for 10 minutes. Sometimes it's instant death, sometimes it's just dramatic tension.
And they only lose gravity in the movies. Because they can only afford to.
It's expensive to lose gravity.
They
Yeah,
do
in
lose
reality-
gravity in Enterprise.
They do.
In a
There's
cold
that
open,
one
so
part-
it's all of like 3 seconds, and it literally just looks like Scott Bakula is sort of moving his knees up and down instead of actually floating. But
Well, there's also a place they go to in with Travis, sort of in the middle of the ship. I think it is the sweet spot.
that's right.
They go
Yeah.
there a few times. It's not losing
They're
gravity. There just happens to not be gravity plating in
Yeah,
there. But
They sort of flip around. Yeah.
It's easier, and that's probably on wires for those things.
Yeah, looks cool though.
So,
oh yeah, Trip floating up to the ceiling is very clearly on wires. It's not even subtle.
so the techno solution in this episode came from Geordi's visor, which, as he pointed out, would not have been invented if he had come from their society or something like that. And for anybody who did not see it, last week or so, I put in what my headcanon is about the Vulcan mind meld. In the Vulcan mind meld, you put your hand on the other's face in strategic positions. And my headcanon is that comes from the placing of Helen Keller's fingers on Anne Sullivan's face so that she could read her lips
Right.
by the sense of touch.
That's perfect. I love that. Yeah.
A breach in the biosphere.
No,
Oh, no. I watched that movie. It was horrible.
It's Biodome. Come on.
Oh, right.
It's the same thing.
Actually, I didn't watch it. It was just a good joke.
It's terrible. I recently had to rewatch it for something, and I had a theory that actually the two idiots in the Biodome were secretly the scientists running it, and that's kind of a fun interpretation if you watch it.
Why did
That's
you have to
interesting.
rewatch it?
The Netflix caption.
I was moderating a movie watch along group.
The Netflix captions jumped into the top left corner for a scene because it was the empty space in the shot.
Okay.
Yeah, occasionally that happens. Like
Also,
when there's
Felon, have you been watching another watch along group? Have you been seeing another group?
For movies, but I would never dare watch Star Trek with anyone but you guys.
Okay. You don't feel like this group is fulfilling your needs?
No, this is everything I want it to be and more,
Okay.
with no sarcasm.
Yeah, you can't trick Geordi's magic visor. Did you just swear on my Star Trek? I guess it's okay because she's not Starfleet. But then it's not okay when people in the new show swear who's not Starfleet.
No, she was talking about a structure meant to hold back water.
Oh, okay. Well, she's, completely misunderstanding what the visor does then.
Yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be a brilliant scientific mind, but sometimes they screw up.
Well, but also, even though she's brilliant, take the smartphone, for example. It took centuries of technological advancement by thousands and thousands of people over hundreds of years, all gaining on each other's knowledge. You had to invent the television before that, for example. You had to invent the radio before that. You had to discover radio waves before that.
Yeah, there's a term for that. I forget what it's called, but there's some term that describes all of the conditions that need to exist in order for a certain invention to come about.
And so this is not necessarily a knock. She's not necessarily making a knock on her society. Correction, she's not necessarily making a knock. It's not necessarily a knock on her and her intelligence. Maybe she could have developed it, but the fact that their society is so isolated means that they don't have that exchange of information.
Yeah, the Federation has like trillions of people, and it's got to have millions of scientists and the Daystrom Institute and all that knowledge. And they have starships going around the place. It's just her. She's the only one.
Isn't there a thing where certain parts of Earth that didn't develop glass, like transparent glass, early enough, were really behind on certain scientific fields because they didn't have microscopes and ways of magnifying?
Yeah, it was China. China had a mastery of
Okay,
porcelain,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they never invented any glass because they didn't need it.
That's what it was. Okay, yeah, thank you. No, definitely.
China
It's kind of similar in that regard, I guess.
China had a mastery of what?
Porcelains. Like, the
porcelains.
typical china that you would use to eat off of, which is why they call it.
Unfortunately, porcelain is kind of useless. Or glass is
That's not
extremely
true.
useful. Let me
Force ones
rephrase.
are
Glass
very
is
useful.
way more useful for sciences.
Yeah, except for spacecraft hulls.
Well, yeah.
Well,
But
then
no,
you
the
got
other thing
transparent
is,
aluminium.
That's not a real
but
world.
also, you
It is
develop
actually. We have it.
eyeglasses.
Transparent
Eyeglasses
aluminium
will
is invented
extend,
in real
you know.
life.
No,
We had
You've
the
had
same
the
exact
aluminium.
scene in the pilot episode Encounter at Farpoint, except it was Riker that time. It was exactly the same scene. Or maybe we don't get that until All Good Things in the flashback. Well, not the flashback,
No.
but the past time.
There was another episode where Riker had to try to take or he chose to try to take the blame for somebody else before they're homogenized into their society or whatever you want to call it.
Now, is that the episode where Riker was accused of raping someone and murdering another person?
No, that was a different episode. We should do a whole supercut on. No, that was a different episode.
that is the title of this whole episode today.
Yeah.
I was just talking about the next one, Conundrum, but apparently, yeah, there's a lot of confusion about a lot of episodes.
But
That's a
transparent
pretty vague
aluminium.
episode title. They face
Every
Conundrum in
episode is
this
a
episode. Yeah.
Well, somebody
Really?
in the chat says, "I'll admit I tried another watch along. Pales in comparison to this." Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But no,
Steve Shives is
transparent-
doing a watch along of various Star Trek things at the moment too. I have tried to sit in on it, but it's so much longer than this because they take forever to get through one episode.
Yeah, I tried Steve Shives', and I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not what I was looking for. Because he like pauses mid-episode like 3 times to have a discussion about it so far. And I'm
Yeah,
just
it's
looking
not
to
a
go
bad
all the way
format,
straight
it's just-
through.
He's going
Meanwhile,
much
we're on a
slower in
schedule.
general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1 episode a week, I think he's doing.
Every other week, I think, actually, because
Every
one week
other
is
week.
Star Trek and the other's Firefly.
He puts in real. He puts the commercial breaks back in, except he uses them for discussion, I guess.
I suppose
What's
so.
what was it? What was it called?
Steve Shives.
Yeah, it's just the guy's name. He has a YouTube channel where he talks about Star Trek and
does.
stuff like that.
And it's pretty
I
good.
like his Star Trek videos in general. They're usually pretty good, pretty
His
well
Trek
thought out.
actuallys are pretty good. I like those.
Yeah.
And then the
I don't-
not actually Trek actuallys.
Yeah. I don't actually follow a lot of his like philosophical and social political stuff because he's actually a little bit more conservative than I am, which is shocking because he's a pretty lefty.
I just heard him be berated for being too far to the left.
Yeah, I am. I think I'm more left than he is. He
Yeah.
tolerates more than I do.
This guy also kind of looks like Kevin Nealon. He looks like he's groomed and dressed to be like a news anchor.
You think everyone looks like Kevin Nealon?
No, maybe.
A little bit.
Kevin,
This is only number 2.
I think he looks a bit like Jeffrey Combs, honestly.
He's a lot taller than him, though.
And this guy's being really dramatic. Every genetic fiber of my being is demanding. It's like, dude, chill. They're leaving. They're going home right now.
A good reference back to transparent aluminum. That was actually put in the film based on the technology that was started at the time. Transparent aluminum was beginning research, and he decided to put it in as a futuristic technology.
Oh, so it was guessable, so to speak.
Yeah, and we've now got practical tests. Not anywhere near cost effective at the moment, but we do have
But
it.
there. It's just like the blue LED. You know, it was producible before 1993, but not at any way that was, feasible, so to speak.
That's right. They had to learn to grow some crystals.
I forget which element.
Is it gallium?
Bismuth.
Bismuth, really?
I don't know.
That
I just said
sounds-
bismuth.
Oh, rats. Okay. Getting live video from the show from somebody.
Sorry, I'm trying to figure it out. Sorry.
Okay. I just remember, I kind of missed the main plot point here, but apparently they're having this really dramatic discussion because some people actually wanted to leave,
Yes.
including
There's
Hannah.
a good chunk of the colonists who are like, let's get the hell out of here. This place sucks now.
Other people show up and they're like, wait, is this all stupid?
Yeah.
It also reminds me of the movie Dances with Wolves, where Kevin Costner plays a United States Army man in the 1800s, and he ends up making friends with whatever Native American tribe it was. He ends up,
Lakota.
figuring out a way for them to trade words, and then so over years he learns how to speak their language perfectly, and vice versa. And so one day, one of the chiefs who's become his friend is sitting with him at night, looking up at the sky, and he says, "The white men are coming." Something like, "The white men are coming, aren't they?" "Yes, they are." "How many?" "As many as the stars." And the Native American man realizes that his whole people's world is going to irreparably change.
Now, are we talking about like the total number of stars in the galaxy, the number of stars you can see in the sky? Because if it's just the number of stars you can see, that's like only 3,000. You can deal with that.
I mean,
It was a
point
metaphor.
being, it's too many.
know.
It's too many.
Also, if we're thinking about...
if you haven't seen Dances with Wolves, it's fucking awesome, and you should see it.
Okay.
If we're thinking about it too, like during that time, there would have been no light pollution. Our perception of what the galaxy looks like in general is kind of muted because there's so much ambient light in Stud City.
The 3,000 number is if you're out in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
I posted in the Discord general video of transparent aluminum, and its properties are insane. It is very, very resilient.
Okay.
Don't they use them as like windows on armored vehicles? Or at least the U.S. military, maybe.
Yeah.
It's over, Aaron. So Aaron's just going to preside over half a colony now, or less. And, yeah, they're done. This colony's effectively dead. You just, like, let people do what they want to, instead of forcing them into specific roles.
How dare they?
Now, comparison to, say, a nudist colony, everybody who's there is there by choice. But you couldn't put that on television. Okay, so speaking of that, do we ever get any shot or visit Beta Z ever?
Yes.
We do? Where? When?
In that bit where Riker, Troy, and older Troy are kidnapped by the Ferengi, they're on Beta Z at the start of the episode. Menage a Troy, it's called.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Also, generally, if you want to tell a woman that you're interested in her, generally don't refer to her as genetically compatible. That's not a good way to express initial interest. Like, if you're already dating, you can say that, but...
What dating tip number is that?
I think we're on 30. I think
Nice.
that's 30. Dating tip number 30 officially. Saying or telling someone that you seem genetically compatible is not a good pickup line.
I don't know.
So-
Worked for me.
Commander Riker there just said the Prime Directive doesn't apply. They're human. I disagree. The Prime Directive
Other captains have also disagreed.
Prime Directive is regardless of species. It's the group of society that I don't know.
That's a very misguided interpretation for sure.
Captain Pike did that whole what was that episode called? The one with the people who like merged all the religions together, made a church.
I don't remember that at all.
But anyway, Captain Pike, they found this colony of people on some planet. They're like, no, they don't understand warp drive. They left before warp drive was a thing. They were brought here. They don't know what it is. Prime directive applies, even though they're human.
The episode is called New Eden.
New Eden, that's right.
Yeah, that's generally the rule with the Prime Directive is, are they warp capable?
Oh, the next episode starts with something that pisses me off.
Okay, well, I guess we'll get into that in a minute, and you can rant once we start, so we have something to rant about.
Yeah,
I actually generally like this one.
Everybody liked this episode.
Oh, the episode's fine. I'm just pissed off about the thing that happens in the cold open.
Okay. So 1 minute countdown to Conundrum. Season 5, episode 14. I forgot what I was going to talk about now. It probably wasn't important. What were we talking about?
You know, the thing.
The thing.
Prime Directive.
Prime Directive.
Prime Directive, Captain Pike, New Eden. Oh, right. There was also that time that Captain Archer, in stark contrast to Captain Pike, found the group of, like, Wild West humans. It was like, no, they're humans, therefore we're going to help them, because they're human.
Well, there was no Prime Directive back then.
There was no Prime Directive.
He even said, maybe at some point, if there's some Prime Directive that tells me what to do.
All right, everybody get ready to press play. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
I would have appreciated it more if he hadn't explicitly named it.
Well, I think it was actually just some directive, but it's just like, oh yeah, we know exactly what you're calling it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
It wasn't subtle, but it's okay.
Wait, what?
It wasn't supposed to be subtle.
Hey guys,
Like-
it's me.
3D chess.
Howdy.
Oh, I love 3D chess.
Yeah, it's good fun.
Oh, I know what you hate about this cold open. Yeah, this bit is awful. I forgot about this. Oh yeah, reblur the screen. There
This
we
is
go.
a good episode with some really bad sections in it, unfortunately.
I'm calling this more of our headcanon where Data is just fucking with people, because this doesn't make
Yes.
any sense.
Yeah,
I'll
there's
see,
no
it's
way.
technically, Archer's directive speech is more subtle than Read Alert, but Read Alert was hilarious. Therefore, it's okay. Everybody
will
loves
check
the
the
Read
Game
Alert.
for the mind, but not the mouth.
Yeah, this has to be
Challenging
Jada
motivation.
like.
Just lying to
this
people.
is a good way to. Yeah, this is a good way to initiate social interaction. You know, like lose to her and then you have to make her a drink. Like that's kind of a fun. That's kind of a fun. That's kind
So
of a
are
fun
you-
thing. You know.
Are you saying Data has game here?
I'm saying, yeah, I
Dating
think Riker. No, I think
Dating
Riker
tips.
told him to do this.
He's
my-
getting
that's
Troy
my
drunk, not to
headcanon.
like do anything weird. He just wants to get her to spill some secrets. He needs some dirt on someone, maybe on Riker.
That's a very
Social
90s
talk.
swimsuit.
Yes, here we have another cold open where someone has injured themselves on the holodeck and needs to report to Dr. Crusher and get some medical attention so they can be in the same room together.
I mean, this person isn't really important. They're just here to give Dr. Crusher something to do. Yep, those are, I assume, diving terms.
Yeah, when you flatten out, if you hit the water flat, ouch.
Yes. Oh, yeah, the relationship between Riker and Ensign Rowe is also really weird here.
Yeah, this stuff I don't like so much. The Riker.
Is this episode not as good as we remember?
There's good parts in it. It's a good episode. There's just, like I said, there's just some troubling
Yeah.
sections in it that we have
Like
to
the
kind of
entire
muddle
stuff.
through. Yeah, but it's no violations, so we're okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this episode makes my list of inappropriate interactions twice.
It's very odd, the whole thing with him and her, and then with Troy, and it's just like, ugh.
Rank does Roe currently hold?
She's an ensign.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Are turbo lifts the only place in the whole ship where you can have a private conversation?
You can go in the Jeffries tubes.
Well, okay.
I guess. Triangle ship. Triangle. That's a triangle.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
definitely.
I didn't know there was one coming today, but there
It's
is.
a triangle ship. Open fire.
This time it's an evil triangle, but it's a triangle nonetheless. Oh, sorry, not an evil triangle. Everything's going to be perfectly fine. Don't worry about it.
Come on,
No,
let's see the
Picard,
triangles
definitely
in the
raise the
chat.
shields. Absolutely raise the shields.
Yeah. It's hackers. It's Neo.
There you go. Thank you.
Just
Joe.
his hands. They're just like, yeah.
Yes,
Might as well.
That's standard procedure.
Always raise the
Not-
shields.
Not
That's probably
really
one of-
anyone is alarmed. Like,
Say that the start of this episode was bad. That's probably one of the most natural moments of Star Trek.
They're just so casual about the whole fucking thing, and it's just like,
yeah,
like no wonder you're screwed now, you idiots.
this happens to Picard, like, once a week.
Like he literally shrugs and says, "Shields up!" Like, dude, come on.
This is a recurring problem with Starfleet captains when they just don't raise the shields. They don't defend themselves. They just let things
Oh,
happen.
Why do they even lower the shields, like, when they don't need them to be
We could have.
off?
We're getting a handheld camera and a weird lens.
Yeah, I really like the choice of the handheld camera here, actually, because it is disorienting.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Well, what is
This is a Les Landau episode. Who?
Oh,
is
that's
a pretty heavy hitter. Yeah, as far as Trek directing goes.
Who are you? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember this one now.
Oh God.
Little
Oh
bit.
yeah. No, and I remember. Oh, I'm not going to give anything away, but yeah, there's a really fun thing coming up.
Okay. And do
So
you know who I am?
amnesia is. I remember something
Oh, hey,
on Nick at
Macduff.
Night.
Hey, Macduff. I'd like to give a round of applause to Commander Macduff, one of my favorite one-off characters. I'll be right back.
So what was on Nick at Night?
I remember years ago on Nick at Night, one of their self-promo commercials between, in commercial breaks was, a look at amnesia, how frequently it's used in television. It's, they even ended it by saying it's a television's favorite neurological disorder.
It's pretty true.
And-
Yeah.
But I've never seen it used en masse like this, I don't think.
Yeah,
It's only one character, except here it's everybody.
which is much
It's
better
very,
as a premise.
it's a very Twilight Zone kind of
Yeah.
script,
That's probably what I was thinking of.
And we have a whole game
McDuff-
series about amnesia.
There's no one in this show as opposed to no man.
Oh my gosh. What if Rod Serling had stuck around and written for Star Trek?
Wouldn't that
Oh.
be fun?
Can't even imagine.
I can't imagine either. That would have
Forget-
been like a dream come true.
We get to see Rod Serling write for William Shatner.
Yeah. Shatner's in two very good Twilight Zone episodes. Terror at 20,000 Feet and Nick of Time.
Nick of Time? I haven't seen that one.
It's the one where he's like on a road trip with his fiance, and they're at a diner, and there's this little napkin holder with a devil head, and it gives fortunes, and like all the fortunes are oddly correct, and so he becomes like obsessed with it.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm writing that down to watch
Yeah, it's a
later.
good
That's-
episode.
Yeah, that's maybe my favorite episode of Twilight Zone. I was going to say Macduff here is played by actor Eric Anderson, who is probably best known for his lead role in Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, which is the fourth Friday the 13th movie, possibly the best of the sequels. It's the one with Corey Feldman in it.
Corey Feldman, wow.
A kid actor, Corey Feldman, so he's not like terrible.
Ro assumes that she's the pilot. Is there something on the console which makes it incredibly obvious it's the pilot console, or is it just she's having a guess?
Well,
I mean-
they kind of get into it. Like they kind of have a certain muscle memory, for lack of a better term, about their duties and like what
They all know how to run
Yeah.
the ship. They just don't know who they are.
That's very selective.
And it's very convenient
Mhm.
Very
in many
convenient.
ways.
Yeah, that way somebody doesn't
Yeah,
press the
that's
wrong
not-
button and kill them all or something.
It doesn't seem crazy that they would still have sort of conditioning. I don't know.
Captain
Actually,
Picard, who
it's-
doesn't know he's the captain, but he immediately takes on a captain role.
Yeah.
Right.
It's
Right. Just
intuitive.
have it. Yeah.
So here's a good question, though. Why don't they just look at their own logs and see what they were just about to do or something?
They're going to, and
do
they're
it
going to find that
later.
they've been wiped.
I'm
Okay.
confused why, if, why don't you just execute everyone on the Enterprise? And steal
I
the
just
ship?
love that moment there where Picard thinks, "Oh, I'm the boss because I have the most pips on my collar," and Worf's like, "Well, maybe it's me because I'm also decorated. I got this big sash thing."
What about Ro?
And
Why
then
can't
people
she be in
actually
command?
listen
She
to
has one
Worf.
pip, and Kenichi's number one.
Maybe it's like golf scores.
What was that about Worf?
Then people actually listen to War for once.
Oh, yeah. The first time.
only
Worf
when they don't-
actually-
Only when they don't know who he is do they actually listen to him.
Perfect.
Hey,
Yeah,
he's
maybe
a
Ensign
command.
Ro is in command because she has one pip indicating she's number one, and she has an earring, so she has decoration.
There are
She's the
100
youngest.
other ensigns on this ship.
She's clearly the youngest, though, so that that kind of falls apart.
I mean, Starfleet doesn't
I
judge.
can't even
Yeah.
play solitaire.
Worf standing in the back. He doesn't want to be part of the group. Of course, that's convenient. Do the shuttles work? Could you... Well, I guess they don't have warp drive in TNG. They're not terribly useful.
The Enterprise does have one runabout, which we see in one episode.
It has like... Wait, does the Enterprise D have a captain's yacht, or is that only the E?
I
The
think
D
it
has one. They just
had
never
one
use
in
it
the
on screen.
technical manual.
Yeah, it's in the technical manual. It's just never used on screen. It's also a really weird looking ship. It's like an oval that's got
It's that
it looks
oval
like-
on the bottom of the saucer section.
yeah, it kind of looks like a smaller version of the saucer section, except it has legs.
I was like, yeah, why didn't McDuff make himself the captain? That would have been so much easier for him.
Yeah.
He changed all the logs. Just ordered them to murder the people.
Yeah. The only thing
This is,
Captain Picard does as captain is just figure out what's up.
So I've got a connection here between the. I was going to mention something in the previous episode with a connection to the movie Total Recall, because there's a biosphere, just like in Total Recall, there's a biosphere on Mars. And now there's another connection to Total Recall with this episode, because everybody has amnesia and they have to figure out who they are.
Oh my god!
And
This
all
episode,
came
everyone
out of
has
the
to figure out
early
who they are. Last episode, everybody knew who they were. It all's coming together.
There we go, the rollout chairs.
I love the rollout chairs.
I was going to say the woman in sickbay there is played by actress Liz Vassy, who is probably best known for her role as Captain Liberty on the original Tick series, the one with Patrick Warburton.
Well, that wasn't the original.
Everybody's taking orders from Worf now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally
Yeah,
right.
I was
This
gonna,
is the only time that Worf is listened to, ever.
it's my
Normally
favorite
he's
joke,
like-
joke in this.
He's like, put shields up, and they're like, no, Worf, we're not going to put the shields up. Basically, every time he makes a suggestion,
get
it's like
shot.
denied.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
like the ship explodes.
Yeah,
Worf's
that's
always
true.
right. Well, mostly right.
Well, Worf's almost never right. He usually, if Worf was listening to all of the time, I feel like almost every episode would not have a peaceful resolution.
I mean, it's just that Worf is always assuming that everybody else is hostile, and they always are.
Well,
Yeah, there's
not
a number of
always.
times
What
where
about like
aggressive.
the Tamaranians? That's a classic "Don't listen to Worf" episode.
I mean, he's not always right, but there are lots of times where his suggestion is the one to take. And Picard's just like,
Like,
nah,
at least
we're not going to do that.
At least put the shields up. At least. They have to
Yeah,
actually
Worf
read the
wouldn't-
manual to
wouldn't
figure out
hesitate
some
to put
parts of the
the shield
ship. It's a good thing they have the manuals.
I was gonna say Worf wouldn't have hesitated to put the shields up, so they wouldn't be in this stupid fucking situation.
Well, the shields were already raised when the beam went through. Apparently, the shields didn't do anything. Oh, there's a really good
you might be right.
outtake here as well. Maybe not in this exact scene, but a scene of Picard and Worf in the ready room. Where Worf says, now we are ready. And Picard replies, the question is, for what? Dramatic pause. So you don't have an answer for that, do you? Your captain must always have an answer. And Worf starts yelling at him back. Unfortunately, it cuts off mid-sentence.
Like how tactical Picard is here, kind of making suggestions to Worf. It's like if you've ever had a job where you realized you were smarter than your boss.
I don't think it's their idea. Here it is. Question is, for what? You don't have an answer for that, do you? The captain must always have an answer. Oh, good. Hopefully that dissipates eventually. That's not like a slug they're throwing.
Isaac Newton is the deadliest son of a bitch in space. That's gonna
this feels
vaporize some colony hundreds of years in the future.
Captain, why are you sitting at the helm? I don't like this. And he has taken the helm.
It is weird.
He has experience being a pilot.
It's like how they put Captain Picard where they usually seat like the least experienced officer.
That's where Wesley sits.
Yeah.
So he's right.
Wait, how do they know she's a doctor?
She was doing doctor
She
stuff.
has the robe.
She was in sickbay.
Also, nobody's calling each other anything. You know,
Well, they don't know
if
what to call each other.
Well, yeah, but they could be like even reservoir dogs. Just call each other made-up names for the time being, just so you know who you're talking to or referring.
Mrs. Blue. Yeah, but there's too many Mr. Reds then. Unless you call him like Baldy or something. I don't know.
Sash man, bald man, robe lady.
Fix the weapon systems. We
You got
attack
Bal-
at the launch.
Baldo,
That guy looks
Jordan
like
Blindo.
a taller version of young Picard, Rascal Picard.
Yeah, he does.
Blindo. Riker's Beardo. I
Yep.
guess that works.
They're like the
Rose
Smurfs.
earring.
They're,
That earring
they're
lady.
bothering people door to door.
Yes.
When you want to buy some Starfleet Scout cookies.
What else are they supposed to do? Oh God! Wait. When are Girl Scout cookies sold? Don't they have like 1 month in the year that they're sold? When is that?
I think it's
What's it?
now.
Yeah.
Now?
It just ended, I think. I think it just
I missed
ended
it.
because I got mine like a month ago.
I missed it.
You can order
More.
factory direct any time of the year.
Okay. You
Uh,
can also
make
just get
sure
like
you-
store brand that are exactly the same, but
There's that too. Yeah,
Mints
but,
are
like,
the best, and if you disagree, you're wrong.
But make
if
sure
you
make
order
sure you look
factory
at your
direct,
local troop and have the profits directed to them, I guess.
yeah, if you order factory direct, it'll go to your local troop.
okay. 'Cause, yeah, it occurs to me, yeah, maybe they haven't been going to door recently. That makes sense, actually.
The
Assume
bartender,
Data's the bartender, which is hilarious.
the bartender is
He
an
was serving
artificial
drinks.
life form, just like in the movie Passengers.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Data's the Iceman.
Hops on seeing Passengers.
There is one imposter among us.
Duffy
Yeah, that would
is
be
sus
convenient
AF.
if she actually knew that now.
Yeah, she just went onto the bridge. She could probably solve it immediately. The one time we could use Troy on the bridge and she's not there. What are you doing,
Well,
Troy?
There's a bunch of times when they could use Troy on the bridge, but she's conveniently not there because the
Yeah.
plot requires her to not be there.
Yeah, like Troy gets on the bridge and she's like, "I can't sense anything, Master Qui-Gon."
I can
No,
sense some form of aggression somewhere in the galaxy.
I sense that one of us is sus.
Oh, there's an outtake
Data
here
was
as well.
not the intruder.
Oh, we can't even see it. In the full outtake, the camera is a little bit bigger on the sides because, they have, like, equipment and stuff. But there's this, on the console, there's this black lining all around it. And in the outtake, so you can sort of see it there on the edge of the console, it just falls off. And Picard has to, like, lean over and glue it back on because it's with adhesive and he has to push it back.
Look at how you can see the screws in the computer console.
He is. Worf is sad.
Yeah.
He has to go back to never being listened to again.
So and he has to apologize. It's like a whole thing.
Oh, you know what? They're giving stats there on the characters.
Yeah,
I guess.
we get to learn that Dr. Crush is from the moon. I like how they put Worf last.
So says Helm Officer there, so they just register that continually. Each as it changes.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe there's a pool that they pull from that are all Helm officers.
I do like that Captain Picard was very intently listening to everyone's names, not just his own. He knows who Commander Macduff is now.
Is Macduff supposed to be a Shakespeare reference? Because there's a character in Macbeth named Macduff, but I don't remember what that role is.
Wasn't Macduff the good guy?
Yeah, I think so. He's like the cop, basically.
It's been too long, but yes, there is such a character.
Leon Macduff.
It was too on the nose to call him Macbeth.
Okay. All right, that makes sense. Yeah.
They could have called him McDoof.
McDoofus.
Oh, there's Troy. Troy, can you sense Commander Macduff is lying to everyone right now? Can you tell?
Of course she can't, because plot convenience.
Troy, come on.
This vessel is called the Enterprise. Data walked outside and looked at the decal on the side.
Is it possible
I'm surprised that they didn't realize the ship was called the Enterprise, considering they stamped the name on everything.
Yeah.
If you look out the window at the back of the saucer, can you see it stamped on the engineering section?
They could see the dedication plaque on the bridge.
Oh yeah, there's also the plaque.
Or any computer system.
Just remember watching this and it feeling so out of place to have this guy we didn't know, participating in all this main cast stuff. It just felt so weird.
So the fact that Commander Macduff is an imposter, would that make that better or worse as a first episode, an introductory episode? Given that it's just someone who doesn't know who the bridge crew are.
Oh look, it's the Edo god from that one episode.
It is. Except it was all weird and transparent there.
I'd say worse because I think the chemistry of the main cast working together towards a common goal is kind of what makes the show shine. And I don't think this is a great episode not because he's there necessarily, but also because they don't know who they are, so they're not necessarily always acting like themselves.
I mean, in the first TNG episode, there was no chemistry.
Right, but you see it develop.
Season.
Yeah, I wouldn't. But that's the thing. I wouldn't start someone with the season 1 episode either.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, no.
No.
What would be the best introductory episode of TNG for someone who's never seen it?
Someone was saying
I always maintain Darmok.
Yeah, I like Darmok and I like the chase because you get to see the major alien species and everyone's kind of their character.
Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
You know what? I am a purist. I say you have to start with Encounter at Farpoint.
God, oh God.
Yeah, but you're going to turn off.
Well, Encounter at Farpoint's not bad. Encounter at
Then you're not going to be
watch half of Encounter at Farpoint.
Hey, Jared, calm down. Calm down.
It's not bad.
Okay.
It's. I just don't think it's accessible enough for someone who may not already kind of be into this.
If you don't love me at my Encounter at Farpoint, you don't deserve me at my best of both worlds. That's what I think.
Okay.
I actually did watch Encounter at Farpoint with a first-time TNG viewer who just insisted it's starting at the beginning. And It was a trip. I had to like butt in multiple times and basically say, yeah, this scene is cringy and terrible, but thankfully, a lot of the writers for this season don't stick around very long.
Well, I've
They get their
heard
heads ceremonially chopped off so better people can come along.
I've heard some very big Dune fans give some very good advice that if somebody has never encountered Dune before and you're going to introduce them, you have to spend 10 minutes explaining what the world is and who all these different factions of people are. They have to have that briefing beforehand so that they can understand once they're in the story.
So there's a
All
guy
I know
on
is that
YouTube.
Michael Dorn is in it, or at least in one of the games.
There's a guy on YouTube named Matt Colville who does a bunch of D&D stuff, but he also has a few videos that are an introduction to the Dune universe, and they're really fascinating. They're worth a watch.
So what if they what if everybody
so what
had
is the scene we're currently watching?
This is Troy and Riker like feeling things for each other, but not understanding what they're feeling.
Which is why we're talking about anything but what's happening.
Okay.
This is the stuff.
Yeah.
This is the stuff I don't like, and this comes off as horribly awkward.
And then,
this whole
this part where he
And then
goes
there's the
and
Ro
Ro is
subplot.
just there.
like they're 11
just-
or 12 years old?
it's kind of
I
gross.
like you.
But he's just playing the Horgon.
Paper
I like how,
wrestling.
yeah,
Maharon.
Commander Riker has his freaking sex idol sitting on his desk.
Did she just break in? How did she get in here?
Yeah, she broke in. She's the transporter or something, and she's sitting in that horribly uncomfortable looking chair.
Do the crew quarters on the Enterprise actually have locks on them?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They have to override them a couple times.
Oh yeah,
Maybe Riker just leaves his door open.
yeah.
This is just in case this might happen.
Just for as an invitation.
Also,
No,
am I
like-
wrong in that that's an incredibly unflattering dress?
It's not great.
Yeah,
It's not
She
great, but
is-
it's not horrible.
Michelle Forbes is a good-looking lady, but this is not a good look for her. I don't think.
It's a very 90s dress.
Everything's
Fair.
very 90s.
Everything is
I don't know,
very
she looks
90s.
hot.
By
You
definition.
guys are jealous.
There was a,
Nah, she's hot for sure, but like, yeah, I don't know.
The dress just seems
like,
frumpy to me.
we could have been married, and Riker was like, "We will check our computer's marriage records, which are surely operational at this point."
Nah, he wouldn't do that.
They didn't have personal. They don't have personal information. They just have whatever they need to do their jobs, and they don't have anything personal anywhere.
At
You can
least
at
they
least look
didn't
for someone
get,
who shares his last name for a starting point.
Yeah, at least they didn't get. But then you could confuse your sister with your wife, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do you remember that episode of Voyager where they stole Voyager's computer, and like Janeway had to team up with Leonardo da Vinci and break
Yeah,
it out of
man.
a warehouse?
Yes.
Katarina.
Oh man,
Maybe
how
they didn't-
embarrassing!
At least they all didn't get such amnesia in this episode that they had to rediscover what the difference is between boys and girls.
Okay, so that ship we just got on screen, that's triangular, but it's not the triangle. That's a different triangle.
Mhm.
Doesn't count.
It would have been great if like as soon as Macduff comes on and people start to come to, like someone Worf punches a couple of buttons and accidentally like blows up the ship because he doesn't know how to use it.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying
And-
earlier. Like they have to know their duties, otherwise they'd accidentally kill all of them.
Someone was like doing some maintenance on the warp core, and they leave like a maintenance hatch open.
Oh, there's the no.
Like depressurize. Let's push that button. Oh no.
So yeah, that part where McDuff said no there, in the outtake they were making fun of him because he said it like, no. Really needlessly dramatic.
No.
Then they just did a retake and he just says no.
I feel like if their memories got erased again, like they figure it out again, right? They're making a little bit of progress.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have that much to lose at this point. Like, how long has it been? Like, a couple hours?
Yeah.
They could all figure it out again.
Can't Troy sense that these people on the warship are not like evil enemies that want to destroy them?
Yeah.
That'd be too convenient.
Convenience.
Or McDuff, for that matter, at this point. I mean, yeah.
Well, McDuff wants them to die.
Or just that.
That Troy should be able to sense McDuff.
Yeah, his deception.
Yeah, if she can sense that she and Riker have a connection, she should be able to sense that like he doesn't belong there.
Oh yeah. Good point.
Good point.
She was distracted by her sexy feelings for Riker and couldn't sense anything else.
Sexism in my Star Trek?
That's ridiculous.
No, that's
more likely than you think.
Sexyism.
Sexyism in my Star Trek.
We all know that the next generation's writers weren't male gazy and weird at all, and all female characters portrayed.
Tell me more about Rick Berman. Was Rick Berman even involved yet, or is he DS9?
Yeah,
he was here.
Fully involved, yeah.
Especially in season 5, because Gene Roddenberry was already gone.
Yeah,
he's dead at this point, and it's Rick Berman, exec producer.
I like how now all the red-shirted people are on the one end of the table, and it looks all red and ominous down there.
I mean, that's where all the cool kids sit at that end.
Yeah,
the cool kids table.
Yeah.
Where do all the lame people on the Enterprise hang out? Other than
right here, these nerds with their computers.
They sleep in the hallway, according to Lower Decks.
Yeah, I was gonna say Lower Decks, but they're like in 10 forward too, and then they're in like each other's quarters. I don't know.
They just live in 10 forward. They actually just sit.
They just sleep
all day, every day.
They just like play 3-dimensional chess and clink drinks together, and they're like 24 hours a day. Like that's their job.
This is also one of the episodes where Data is not somehow taken out by the writer, so that he's not affected by the thing that affects the whole crew.
Yeah, like that episode, like the episode "The Game," where like they make him like who I don't even remember who. I think like Crusher just like takes him out or something, so that he can't like keep people from being addicted to the game or whatever.
And then at the end of the episode, he just steps out of the elevator with the strobe
With the
light.
strobe light?
Yeah, and then he like solves the entire problem because he came up with a solution off screen in like 2 minutes.
He came with this after Wesley tried and failed to fix him, and then Data just fixed himself somehow.
Yeah,
and he just solves the entire episode.
Wesley
Data just did some supposition there into theories of his origin because he's got amnesia. One of the theories was that there's a whole planet of people like me, and that's sort of come true now in Picard.
Yes.
Oh God.
Oh, that's what a diploma looks like in the future.
They look so cheap.
I sensed a lot behind that. Oh God! After Picard was mentioned,
We all need to get one.
Yeah,
with our
that was
names on it to
Stealing
hang on
stem
our
bolt
wall.
on Riker's desk.
Riker, why do you have a dagger?
Stealing stem ball.
It is a stealing stem bolt.
Look at all the stupid shit on his desk. Jesus.
I guess he doesn't know what any of it is, so he's just collecting things to look at them.
One of them looks
He
like
has a stem bolt, he has a Horgon, he has a dagger, he has a book.
he's got a live grenade. Yeah.
He has like a chunk of plutonium sitting on his desk, and he doesn't know it's dangerous.
Riker losing his memory reactivated his latent kleptomania.
If you want an episode about people not understanding what plutonium is, I have good news.
Oh,
we have
yeah,
an
we have
entire
one.
episode about radioactivity, not knowing what it is.
Yep.
Wait, is that the one where Data kills all those people?
No, he doesn't kill anyone.
But
He
they all
almost
get
kills them.
sick. Yeah,
Oh,
they all
sorry.
get really sick from radiation poisoning because he brings
yeah.
like this radioactive metal, and they start like selling it and making jewelry out of it.
And then he
Yeah,
dumps
he
some drugs in their
irradiates
water
everyone.
supply.
Yeah.
After destroying it or something? I don't know. It's weird.
No, they buried the metal with him.
He like walks in a
And then
town.
they beam the metal up at the end of the episode. They
That's
just get it out of there.
Yeah.
He
And they're like,
walks in a town and like sounds like a router at him.
Is that the one where
Yeah.
the guy tries to stab him and he gets electrocuted?
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He stabs
Okay,
him with a
that's awesome.
spear, and he like gets electrocuted and he just falls over.
That's awesome.
So after this encounter, I would assume that Riker should be much more reluctant to, engage with Ensign Rowe.
Yeah, but he's not.
So uncomfortable.
He's got the best of both worlds.
Boo.
Maybe this is what he would do if he wasn't the first officer. If he was the second officer, he would just be fucking anyone who was around.
Wait,
But he's too busy as
here's
the first officer to like.
Ensign Riker, ship's whore.
Okay, here's a theory. His memory actually all came back to him, but he's just using this.
He's just fucking with them at this point.
Oh, I didn't remember anything. I'm sorry.
Well, that's like kind of funny in the end of this, like the end of this episode.
Where they meet up with him at 10-4 and then just tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
We have a lot to talk about. I'd rather not.
Here's a good question, though. Didn't any... So, the computer records, everybody's computer logs are gone, or at least not available right now. Didn't anybody do something like keep a paper diary?
Nope. They don't use paper in the future.
Picard has books. Picard loves old shit. He has books somewhere. There's got to be information somewhere.
But he doesn't write his log entries out.
Yeah, do you think
but he's got to have like a
If
manual.
we had Jake Sisko here, that might work.
Do you think people in the future know how to use pencils?
Jake
No,
does.
they should use someone else. They should do two people at once.
In the original series, Captain Kirk was signing clipboards lots of times.
Yeah.
Just this morning, actually, I was reading about like all the different handwriting in Star Trek, and it turns out there are like 3 people who write anything by hand. One of them is Jake. One of them is Chakotay. He handwrites something at one point. I don't remember who the third is.
Is this? We talked why McDuff didn't make himself captain. Is this why? Because as first officer, he's able to volunteer for this thing to try and restore memories, and then
I love the smug
scare him off the idea.
Didn't he just make himself captain?
Pretended to die.
Sorry, say again.
Why didn't he just make himself captain? That would have made more sense.
That's what I'm wondering if it was for this, because as first officer, he was allowed to volunteer. If he was a captain, they probably wouldn't risk him. And then
He could have sabotaged that attempt, though.
But as captain, he could have done all kinds of things. He could have been like, "Nah, we're not going to do that. That sounds risky," or something.
We don't have the time.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's the right decision. I'm just saying that might have rationalized his decision for them. Yeah,
but there is the fact that Picard is still wearing 4 pips, and he can't get 4 pips, and there'd be 2 captains. You know, for that side of it. I mean, there's an obvious writing reason. Because at the end of the episode,
he's a fraud, so he could have just worn 5 pips.
That's true.
Maybe
He could have just worn 5.
It's like, 20. Hey guys, I have 20 pips. I must be the leader.
And he would have stolen every one of. He would have stolen every one of Captain Picard's adventure jackets.
This isn't a studded jacket. This is just how high rank I am.
He's a sash like war.
I'm Commander Pip.
But I mean, the obvious reason is that at the end of the episode, we want Picard to rescue us from him, and that's the only way it happens.
Oh, Picard, be careful with that death crystal.
Wouldn't it be great if Commander McDuff actually wasn't an imposter and he just like sticks around for the rest of the series?
Is
they
society
just didn't explain when he had a personal change?
I think the real question we need to be asking is why Captain Picard has that crystal, and why does he hang around, hold on to it while he's talking? What is that crystal
I think the
for?
question we need to be asking is when he threw that crystal on the table, why did it sound so much like plastic?
It's Captain Picard's fidget.
It's transparent aluminum.
It's a space crystal.
Oh, nice exterior shot. We rarely get these.
Yeah, that's a gorgeous shot, actually.
Mm-hmm. I don't know why they don't use this facade more.
Okay, so if
what,
McDuff,
2 or 3
let's say they show up. This is good. Let's say they show up and McDuff realizes his side lost the war and all of his people are dead, and he would just have to live on trying to continue this charade as long as he possibly could.
Or he could just like disappear. He could just be like,
retire.
"Yeah, okay, bye." Yeah.
I mean, as soon as
Or
they
he's a
contact
shapeshifter.
Starfleet,
Yeah,
I guess the
leave.
jig is up. But yeah,
I'll just go live on Risa.
Star Trek McDuff when?
That was my intro to send you guys a link to my 3,000-page McDuff Star Trek fan fiction website.
Okay.
The McDuff Chronicles.
I mean, does it go
the
into
Chronicles
McDuff's
of
history
McDuff.
or just his time as a Starfleet officer?
Or is it just a crossover between Shakespeare and Star Trek?
It is actually, yeah. It's the pilot episode is Too tough for McDuff.
Oh God.
Commander McDuff like decides to back out when he still has the upper hand and manages to like successfully integrate into Starfleet as a commander. He like transfers to a different ship.
It's the slow zoom indicating that this person is evil.
Yeah. He has like a successful and fulfilling career. He becomes like an admiral. Completely loyal to his adopted people.
Instead of
That'd be pretty on brand for Starfleet if they made him an admiral.
Yeah, because he's evil.
Yeah.
They're about to kiss.
Worf loves murder. He's gonna get to murder so many people.
Well, he just said they have so much in common.
Oh, they're entering the Lysian system.
Attack posture. What's that?
Wouldn't Ensign Rowe be the one bringing them to an attack posture?
Yeah, she's at the helm.
Just like, I feel like this plan would have worked if the Lysians were just like slightly less babyish. Where like they're suspicious because this is too easy. But if the Lysians were just, better, they'd be like, yeah, this makes perfect sense, Commander McDuff.
I mean, you can't make the Lysians stronger.
Yeah. Well, maybe they could have picked a comparatively less powerful vessel than the flagship of the Federation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick like a pack-led ship and you'd be golden.
He already had a pack-led ship. It was triangular.
It was triangular.
It's the exact same model as the pack-leds. It even had that nose on the front.
Let's be real. If he'd taken over a pack-led ship, they'd still be sitting in one place.
Star Trek pack-leds when? The pack-leds are like my favorite.
The space router.
Space router.
It provides wireless internet to the entire Lysian military
empire,
complex. Yes. Yeah.
Well, this is shoot him. One torpedo. You have spares.
Commander Riker's like, one torpedo ought to do it, and Worf's like, aye, sir.
Mass murder.
100 years behind us in weapons technology. Over 100, so maybe like 120.
Over 100.
What was happening 120 years ago in Star Trek?
That was OG Enterprise.
Yeah.
That was Enterprise.
So these guys would be a fair match for the NXL-1?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Pretty much.
Ooh.
Yeah, but Archer fights dirty.
Freezer.
Whoa! Oh, I love this effect.
Worf had his time of being listened to, now he's just being shoved to the side again.
That's not a human person.
This is such a complex effect for such a minor plot detail. They really didn't need to do it, but it's amazing.
That looks awesome.
It is really cool.
What happened to his body though? Like, did they just shove him out an airlock or something? Like,
they give him to the Lysians. They're like, here, this is your problem now. Take him. So did Starfleet rebuild their sentry pods for them? Are they entitled to financial compensation? What's the deal here?
If the USS Enterprise has blown up one of your warships, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
So speaking in present day Earth terms, yeah, there would be financial reparations, financial settlement, as well as they would have to at best be exonerated from from murder charges by means of very insanity.
Does the Enterprise have to stick around for a while in case this?
Riker's going to try again with
if your battleship has less than 20,000 miles on it and was destroyed by a mind-wiped crew, you may be entitled to financial compensation.
The scene begins with Riker saying hi to the blonde woman at the bar as he walks in.
And then his face.
I love Riker.
Dude, his face in this whole scene is just gold.
He sat down normally.
He just sat down normally.
Very slowly.
He's so embarrassed. He's not himself.
Okay, but that doesn't matter. You were still like fucking two women at the same time. I don't know.
Not at the same time.
Well, not at the same time, but like he was,
Not simultaneously, but yeah.
No, not
He
simultaneously.
just kissed Troy once.
Weird.
Troy and Ro look so fucking grainy in this. At least the one I'm watching on Netflix. They look so grainy.
Yeah.
I know they had to do it because of the green screen effect, but Jesus Christ, that looks fucking terrible.
And then Riker's just pretty like crisp.
They get the Vaseline filter.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. What are they drinking? Jesus.
It's
liquid Jello.
It's like Listerine and it could just be water.
Cough syrup.
It's cough syrup.
Commander Dan, bartender Dan mixed them up like a refreshing cocktail of industrial lubricants.
Alright, what's the next? Oh, it's Power Play. Power Play is next.
Yeah. Pretty good episode.
I think that's one of my favorites. This is
And
great.
we get
This
evil
episode
Chief
was-
O'Brien.
This episode was so much fun.
Yeah.
Evil
previously had
isn't
Evil
nearly
Keiko
as
in Deep
fun as
Space
Evil
Nine.
Troy, though.
Yeah, this is the one where Troy breaks Worf's wrist.
Yeah.
This is also.
You mean it's one of the times that she breaks Worf's wrist?
Oh yeah, and Chief O'Brien like yells at his wife. It's like crazy, yeah.
Alright, 1 minute countdown.
Data gets possessed.
Oh, hey, wait! Both members of Chief O'Brien and both Chief O'Brien and Keiko both get possessed by hostile alien entities and threaten each other's lives.
And then Molly gets thrown into a time portal. This whole family.
Yeah.
What a great way to bond in your relationship.
The last episode was so much fun to talk through. I can't believe we still have one more to go. That last episode was the funnest one so far.
Did anyone mention like any thoughts on Q being in Picard the new season?
Oh yeah.
Oh god.
That'd be great.
Oh wait,
do it
I need to pause
right.
the countdown. Right.
We can
So
do
because we
that.
have someone in the queue, we need to roll a die.
Oh my god.
No!
Oh
We need to roll and eject someone.
no! I didn't get to see the first episode.
Can you do that on screen somehow, or what?
Yes.
On roll 20.
Oh wait, Q's empty.
One. I'm rolling
You
1d9, where 1 is Bill and 9 is Soma. We're just going down in order.
Wait, it's empty now. It's empty now.
Oh, it's empty now.
Yeah. No.
Let's see who
Ryan,
would have been
almost said
kicked.
it.
It
just
would
really
have
wants to
been.
kick someone out.
It would have been Rob.
Oh, of course.
Well, as long
Wait,
as
what?
it's not me, then I don't care.
Oh.
Go.
You can also ask for
50.
volunteers beforehand.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. 20 seconds
would've-
until the real episode, because now the queue is empty. 20 seconds.
The Q.
Q.
It's a
is
Q.
empty. Yeah, I don't know. I'm wishy-washy on Picard. I like John Delancey, but I don't know.
Press
I am
play
very
in
torn.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Hey,
Queue shows-
if you wanna join the queue again, I mean it's just 1 over. I guess we can go to 11. Make a quick exception. Just go in the queue and drag in manually.
Q shows up in Picard, and Q's like, Picard, I have something very important and melodramatic to tell you that and the all life in the universe depends on this.
Again?
Why do I look so old? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Picard, we need you to be sad for 6 episodes in order to save the galaxy.
Since there was only one person in the queue, I temporarily increased the limit to 11 people.
This episode goes to 11.
It goes to 11. It does. Troy, what are you doing in Tactical? What are you doing over there?
Stop touching my shit.
Troy never actually gets possessed.
Just tired of this shit. My excuse to be mean to everybody. Okay.
Yeah. She's put up with everyone's problems for years. There are 1,000 people on this ship who come into our office every week and keep complaining about like how the captain keeps calling a broccoli. And
Troy, now you can send something when it's actually bad for this.
Someone's
you can only
down
send
there.
something when it puts the ship in danger to sense it. They could just leave, and the episode would be over. Just leave.
She got a signal. She got a psi signal from all the way up here.
Well, she's been practicing after the McDuff thing. She dropped the ball so badly on that she wanted to up her game for this, right? Yeah,
and she's just making it worse. Thanks, Troy. Everybody watch Fake Molten Saturn and the stars go by. Once it pans to the left.
Tasty Molten Saturn.
Pan to the left, there they go, by stars.
Well, I can't see that now or unsee that now, Ryan.
Yeah.
Thanks for ruining my favorite television intro.
Yeah, I have to skip the intro when I watch on my own now because I can't stand to look at that shit.
Oh, no, you can't skip the intro. Skipping the intro is like
don't skip the
skipping
intro.
Encounter at Farpoint. You can't.
Yeah, you got to hear the incredibly loud theme music.
Yeah.
You're such a whoever keeps insisting you started season 1. You're such a purist.
Yep.
That's.
I mean, if you're actually sitting down and you're committed to watching the series, then sure, season 1. But
sure.
Well, you should start it right. You should start at the cage. You should start at Mantrap. You have to watch TOS before you can do TNG.
TOS is kind of painful these days.
Yeah.
And don't forget the animated series.
Oh yeah.
The animated series is possibly better than TOS.
The animated series is bomb.
It's certainly aged better. I'll say that.
If you really want to start a season 1, you should start at Enterprise season 1, watching chronological order.
No, you have to start at First Contact if you want to know what's happening in Enterprise. And that sends you all the way back around the loop again.
Yeah, you need to start with that episode of Voyager where they go back to the Big Bang.
My roommate watched Voyager before TNG.
They have seatbelts.
How embarrassing.
And he likes Voyager better. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you?
Okay. That's some good shaking they're doing with those seatbelts.
Seatbelts, guys!
Yeah, this is a real... This isn't just camera shake. I think this is an actual...
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely on the gimbal.
Yeah, like this is
Somehow
something
it looks hydraulic.
$100 to go on at the mall.
They're on the
so
actual
cheap.
Star Trek The Experience ride in Las Vegas.
Wow.
It looks so cheap though. Like you can see a wobble, like that center panel thing.
Yeah, I like the smoke machine that was going in the background so they could have it out the window.
Commander, we've got dry ice outside.
Wait, you can see a little bit of the dry ice going through. That's not a solid
coming
window.
through the window.
Oh no!
That's open. My God.
Who left the window open?
Commander, Data's like...
Okay, this is maybe not hydraulic.
No, that was camera.
Yeah,
side.
no,
The prop
that
master's
was-
like, well, the window's not completely airtight. Is that okay?
No, it's not okay.
Fine, no one's ever going to notice.
It's not
Data's
okay.
like, I've had enough of this, and he presses a button and the motion stops, and he like unbuckles the seatbelt and gets up.
It's not like somebody's going to be
Steps
watching this
outside.
in higher definition than it's broadcast in 35 years later or anything.
Yeah.
Worked fine in 240p.
I will say, like, that's honestly some of maybe the best shuttle effects we see in like this entire era of TV Star Trek.
Is
The
it-
exterior
is that door
stuff,
supposed
shuttle
to do
stuff
that?
looks great. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Oh, so
don't
just
think
blow
so.
off the
Yeah,
window
it's
to
pretty
look
much-
at that?
yeah.
Standing right in front of it.
I don't know. That's kind of
Trying to
like
get in.
TNG shuttle pod. Just reminds me of like a giant mouse droid or something.
Also, Why does it look so small now that they're standing next to it? Like, there's no way all three of them could have fit in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like
at the back when they could have just used the doors on the side.
Maybe the front part just sort of caved in, so now it actually is smaller. When it hit the
yeah.
Our shuttle.
We went through an anomaly that made us all 10 feet tall.
It's like the opposite of One Little Ship, where
One Little Ship, yeah.
Is that just a water effect that they green screened on?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Good
We
idea.
got this overhead shot of water. Can we use it somehow? I think we can. Sure.
We'll make it work. Okay.
Be afraid. Be very
Dun, dun,
afraid.
dun.
I do like the lighting there. That actually is very ominous.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I feel like there would have been such a better plan for this mission than taking 3 random officers and putting them on the dinkiest shuttlecraft you have available into the Hellstorm.
Well, and then O'Brien figures out, they can beam down anyway and just use a pattern enhancer. It's like, where was this idea 30 minutes ago, dude?
Drop the pattern enhancer out a window.
Yeah,
I do love the pattern enhancer. It's one of my favorite devices ever, and it's what is it? The Mark Twain episode they use it too. It's awesome.
And they also play a big role in Star Trek Insurrection.
No, those are transport inhibitors. Those are different.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. It's a completely different stick with the light on the top.
And it's 3 points, not 4, which is brilliant because it's much more efficient that way. Obviously,
I watched the Star Trek Insurrection commentary with Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis, and they make fun of the transport inhibitors a lot. It's like, those transport inhibitors. There's more transport inhibitors. There's transport inhibitors at the start. There's transport inhibitors at the end.
That's the one where Marina Sirtis is clearly kind of drunk.
Is that on the home video or is it on YouTube?
It's not on YouTube anymore. It was copyright claimed. It's on the Blu-ray. I think it's not on the regular.
They have a sandy floor on Planet Hell instead of it just being like a flat.
He's supposed to be feeding the baby lunch, and he's doing this crap.
No, I forget which one it is.
If you have access to that commentary, I highly recommend it. It's really good.
There's a
if Miles
I forget which one it is, but there is a
5 seconds
commentary.
faster than none of this episode would have been a problem.
There was what commentary?
Well, I forget which one, but there's a commentary where Marina Sirtis is clearly 5-6 glasses of wine in.
Marina Sirtis said she broke her tailbone during the scene when they were flung backwards.
Oh God!
She broke her tailbone.
Oh, Link, it's Triangle.
That sounds yeah.
It's not even isosceles though. It doesn't have regular angles.
That what they were doing there is that they fell backward onto sand, so they even purposely made that very, very soft to land on.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't like sand. It's coarse.
It's coarse and
it's
it gets
irritating.
everywhere.
Troy woke up Riker.
Sorry, I had to step away. Were you guys talking about Marina Sirtis injuring herself?
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah, I'm reading the IMDb thing now. She broke her coccyx.
Tailbone.
Yeah, and she said she was the only one in the group who performed the stunt. I suppose because she was nearest camera, barely. But it says she later reflected that anyone could have done it really because her face was barely even visible in the finished shot. It could have been Worf in Troy's costume, and we wouldn't have known the difference.
Do it multiple times, and there's
we know now,
Brent
but we wouldn't have known at the
print
time.
in that sand.
My uncle broke his tailbone when he was young and has had essentially lifelong back issues because of it. So I imagine Marina is really regretting that.
But until you know it, right?
Yeah, I have some back issues because about 5 years ago I was hit by a fucking car. So I feel you, man. Like anyone with back pain, it's a fucking nightmare.
While this is on camera, this is not how people stand in an elevator.
Yeah.
They don't all stand facing the center. That's not, no.
Yeah, they don't all stand in a circle.
That's how they do it now, but in the future, that's how they're going to stand in an elevator.
Oh, okay.
The future in the elevator, they're just going to
like
at each other.
They're going to all stand in just the same corner, all huddled
Data
in
has
one
some evil
corner.
eye movements. And his jaw's a little to the side, pure evil.
Classic Riker lean here.
One of these days,
Thinking
Data's
back
going to get
issues.
up and he's going to be able to swing his leg right over, take the chair.
The thing is here, they're objecting to a polar search pattern, but like that's the most efficient way to search a planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to mention today, the company FilmRise, apparently like 2 months ago, they uploaded on YouTube all of the episodes of Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. And Jonathan Frakes is the host for seasons 2 through 5. Yeah. And it's wonderful to see him host the show and ask lots of rhetorical questions.
Yes.
And try to draw weird metaphors with whatever props he's given.
Not this time. Not a tip.
Could an octopus egg really grow to maturation in a human
That's my
stomach?
favorite segment, is the woman who thinks she's pregnant, but it turns out to be a baby octopus. It's insane. But yeah, just the weirdo, like, creepy lighting and, like, all his stupid props and stuff. It's such a
I love the
perfect 90s
supercuts
show.
of him just, like, asking weird questions.
Yeah, I have
Just
a
a
collection of
question.
those supercuts if anyone wants to look at them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or him just being like, it's false.
chance.
It was a total
It's false.
fabrication.
If you slow it down, it sounds like a drunken, like, bum ranting. Apparently.
Yes.
I believe the top comment on the Asking You Things video is Jonathan
Why
Frakes
did
trying to
Data
figure out
break
your
that?
security questions for 47 seconds.
Nice Shatner punch there.
Yeah, double fist.
You know what? Somebody could make a cut where Jonathan Frakes in Beyond Belief is on the main view screen talking to himself as Commander Riker in a conversation.
Well, I do have some video editing software. Might be able to make that work.
Ouch.
God, I barely even recognized that was Marina Sirtis talking. Completely different voice.
It's not just a
Riker's
turbo
hair
lift.
looks weird in this episode.
Well, he got thrown around.
Ooh,
Messing with
Deck
hair.
13.
It's not just a turbo lift, it's a one.
What the
Now,
heck is
who's that?
What is the
Those
pants?
guys
What is he wearing?
That is weird.
He's
What
wearing
if he's like just some
It's just a true
He's on his
reference.
cameraman
way to a
that happened to be
retro 90s
standing there?
party.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be an outtake, and they didn't outtake it.
Okay, so they left their comm badges. Can we scan for an android? It shouldn't be that hard. We have internal sensors. We know this.
That's true. Duranium.
Computer scan for an android, a
There we
betazoid,
go, Sam.
and an Irish.
Well, a couple episodes ago.
I don't know if it can scan for Irish.
An android, a betazoid, and an Irishman walk into a force field.
Walk into Jet Forward.
I mean, they are literally going to walk into a bar later in this episode.
See, he could
Oh, yeah,
break
they
that.
do.
How come he didn't break his comm panel when he was angry and smashing it?
That's
Don't
a
worry
good point.
about
point.
Don't worry
Convenience.
about it.
A couple episodes ago, the ship could scan for Alexander, and he didn't have a fucking comm badge. So why is that an issue now?
Oh, for the kids on the ship, they put like little trackers on them, like like you do with dogs. You know, they microchip them.
Yeah.
Tag the children.
The tag children.
This is a robbery.
Get down on the floor. Get funky.
The extra on the right's hair.
Okay, that was one shot. You missed. Shoot him again.
That was a really bad shot. That was like point blank.
Did absolutely nothing.
Zap, zap.
Pew pew
What,
pew pew.
what are you shooting them for?
For fun. Yeah.
They each shot each other in the hip.
Okay,
Troy gets
apparently
to shoot
they're
Worf.
immune to phasers when they're possessed.
Oh, believe I
Wait,
remember.
but why can she respond if she didn't tap the badge?
She's talking into Worf's badge.
Yeah, but they didn't tap Worf's badge.
No,
Sometimes
How do you know he can hear? Maybe he
the
can hear
microphone
them.
on his badge is just that good.
So yeah, now an Irishman, an android, and a Betazoid have walked into a bar.
Aha!
It's interesting that he says in the supplemental log that it's Commander O'Brien and that lot when he knows that it's not.
But he doesn't know that it's not yet.
He said supplemental log, didn't he?
Well, yeah, but that just means it's not the start of the episode.
That means he's taking a break to make 2 logs during this happening.
He's got time. They're contained. It's fine.
Actually, that is not a bad idea. If you have a spare 30 seconds, it's actually a really good idea to make a log. So just in case things go really haywire.
I don't know. Troy's in there shooting people. He's got. Hang on, guys. I got to write in my diary. Very important.
There's an android serving the bar. Come on, give me a sunset.
In a traditional
I'm guessing
style.
they don't. Yeah, I'm guessing they don't have a camera in the bar, or they don't have those little cameras you can put on the end of a flexible rod and you can like put it through a vent.
Yeah, it's I guess one more example of how obsolete the Star Trek future technology is now compared to real life technology.
I mean, I was watching another movie from the 90s. I mean, not recently, but at some point, and they had those little cameras you could put through vents in the 90s. They just don't. I guess Starfleet officers just aren't used to using that kind of primitive technology. What's interesting?
She would be sensing hostilities.
What would you be telling the captain?
I sense hostility.
How is Data possessed?
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
I think they'll explain it later on.
They occupy his neural nets.
You know, he's just a computer like we're computers. They're all different kinds of computers.
Time for Worf to get beat up again.
Is Worf smart enough to understand he can't beat Data? He can't beat an android?
Ooh, he really wants to kiss him. Look how close they are.
Brent
lighting here
Spiner plays
really
the
makes a
best
difference
evil character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
he
lighting
is so
there
good.
really made a difference.
It's already moving.
Is this the Star Trek version of Die Hard?
No,
No. Darn.
there is a Star Trek version. There is a Star Trek episode that's very Die Hard, though. I'm trying to remember what it is.
Is that like the one where Picard goes back on board for his saddle and he has to crawl around and like
Yes,
stop the
that's the one.
terrorists?
Yeah,
Yes, you're
the
genius.
very
That's it.
sweet.
Yeah.
That's the
Or
one
like
where he
there's like a
next
beam going through the
Tuvok.
ship. Yeah.
Yeah, and Tim Russ is in it.
Yeah. It's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's the one.
Tim Russ, who gets Vulcan nerve pinched by Picard.
Yeah, ironically enough.
If you're ever in LA, when everything's reopened, if you're ever in LA, his band plays regularly at the Kibitz Room, which is the bar right next to Cantor's Deli on Fairfax. And that's where I met him.
Tim Russ?
Yeah, Tim Russ. He's a very
He's a
talented
band?
musician.
Oh my
Yeah, he's
God.
great too. It's mostly covers, but there's some original stuff. Yeah, he's pretty good.
Cool.
Yeah, we forget that we see these people on television all the time, and
And
we
they
get
actually
to
have
hero
lives.
worship when we're 10 years old, and we forget that they're ordinary people. They have parents to pass away and people that they love with real difficulties in life, and they're wondering what they're going to have for dinner tonight too.
And they play in
bands.
bands.
That causing these people pain will force the entities to leave. Did getting shot with a gun not count?
Yeah.
Was that fine?
They're fine.
And what about Data, who can't feel pain?
Ooh, good one. I don't know.
Don't worry about it.
No, they explain how they get data as well.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Don't Worry About It stream.
They just have
Jordy
to
basically
really
just gives
hurt
us
his
a "don't
feelings.
worry about it."
I think he literally even says that.
What's your top priority?
This is it. That was an intake, wasn't it?
Yes. Where Jordy says, Picard asks how, Will says, micro-optic through the ceiling. Dramatic pause, and Picard has to clarify, micro-optic drill.
Oh my gosh. The Netflix version looks so, like, when they were just showing that shot of Deanna Troi, that looked so bad. It was so grainy.
No, and even when she steps over and it kind of zooms back, it looks like
Why
shit.
in the Netflix version is it constantly altering between full format and 4x3?
I wonder if they didn't have an adequate, full print for that, and they just had to go with a TV print.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. The whole
this. Oh god, this
that does look bad.
This wide shot looks like garbage.
Yeah.
It really does.
That's got to be it. There's no way they must have, for some reason, they must have not had an original for that, or it was
Well,
never. They never.
They should be standing 6 feet apart.
They don't have disease in the future. They're fine.
Do they have personal space?
No.
Not Patrick Stewart and Jonathan Frakes. No, they.
That's right.
Absolutely
They have a very, very close relationship.
Yeah, Riker just leans into everybody too. It's fucking nightmare.
Like half of all outtakes involving Patrick Stewart, he just melts into Jonathan Frakes' arms and they hug each other. Or they hold hands at least.
And Commander Riker's supposed to be bisexual too, so. Didn't Frakes say he was bisexual?
I don't know.
I don't think I've
labels.
seen anything about that.
That feels like
I
a
don't know if there's
clickbait.
labels in the future or not. Maybe he's just like, I don't know. He's just
It
down.
feels like something in a clickbait article, like taken out of context. Like somebody asked, like, "Well, would it bother you if someone thought Riker was bi?" And he's probably like, "No, of
He
course."
had the relationship with that non-gender,
the androgynous,
the non-binary.
But
Non-binary.
but he had campaign. I mean, like the actor had campaigned to make that actor a man, which would have made the episode more interesting, I think. But it was the 90s, so that was shot down.
Yep.
So are we saying that the non-binary species and the binars hate each other?
Well, I think everyone hates each other in this show.
They don't check the large number of medical people coming in that are not armed or anything like that.
There's like 9 of
brought
them.
in a security team.
Why did they bring in phasers? They should bring clubs.
Swords, whatever, knives.
When they opened the door, could we have thrown in a flashbang?
No, just throw a grenade in. It'll be fine.
A regular grenade. You just we'll
We've
sort
got
it out
over
later.
1,000 people on board and trillions of people in the Federation. We can afford to lose these 12. It's fine.
Oh, and like whoever's not dead, like we have pretty modern medical technology. We can, fix everybody. It'll be fine.
It would certainly cause them pain. That would get them out of the body.
Yeah, if you blow off somebody's arm or something.
You have no wish to harm her or anyone else. You shot several people here, Troy. Most of them, the people you shot were just civilians that were running for cover.
Yeah, Data's like the uber evil one though. He's like, no.
Oh my gosh, I love Data's look right now.
I know, he looks so pissed.
Brent's fine to do it.
The
having a
entity
great time.
possessing Data knows that it's smarter and stronger than everyone around it, so it's like it's getting off on that sense of power, I think. Like, the stuff with Worf is clearly that, right?
He just gets so excited every time he gets to threaten Worf. He's so happy about it. So
That
this is
lightning
another
effect.
episode about space ghosts, but they're not Scottish this time.
Oh no.
They just have to put out the candle and then everything will be
Join
solved.
Starfleet today.
That or what's the thing with the woman like half merged through the floor?
Yeah.
It was so creepy. I didn't. Oh man, don't bring
Or
that
the-
up.
Or the section of the Enterprise that the Borg ship dissected and pulled out.
Well, 18
Yeah.
people.
I'm just going to open a tailor shop on Deep Space Nine and just stay with that, I think.
How does this ghost know all this information? Because it's
'Cause
not
it is
actually
the
Captain Schumer.
Yeah.
They tried this bullshit 200 years ago with that.
Spoilers, by the way.
Oh, is anyone watching this episode for the first time
They shouldn't
and
be.
doing this live stream?
We shouldn't be, no.
We brought that up. Like, I think we try to be non-spoilery, but it's like this aired like 35 years ago. You should kind of know.
If you're watching this for the first time and listening, you're going to miss so many plot details.
Oh my god, dude.
Just
it was
calm down,
like-
Brent. You can murder
Yeah.
people later.
Oh, he's got
Patrick looks
first
so
place.
angry.
Everyone's so angry in this episode.
What do you sense, Troy? Do you sense hostility from the captain? Is he aggressive? Adversarial?
Zoom in.
This is actually like a good plot thing for Troy though, because usually she just sits around and like doesn't really do anything. But it's really good when her character actually gets used for something
And
interesting.
she plays evil very well.
Yeah.
So this is a gigantic electromagnet, and they're just going to zip Data up to the ceiling.
It worked.
That's awesome. What a great idea.
They might also take the phasers out of their hands. That would disable everyone effectively.
And
Has anyone-
but it also like it'll ruin all the equipment in the ceiling, like erase all their cassette tapes.
My Creedence Clearwater Revival tape. No.
Their credit cards aren't going to work,
Or just like rips all their jewelry off too, or like their necklaces get pulled off up to the ceiling.
You lose your filling. Yeah. My tooth. Oh no.
What? God forbid you have any implanted heart or something.
Oh
Like Captain
no!
Picard.
no.
Picard has it artificial.
My nipple piercing. My nipple piercing. No.
So yeah, the metal grating here, this has got to be extremely painful to go through. To crawl through on your hands and knees.
Why would they make it so uncomfortable? Why would they design it that way? You must know that like occasionally people are going to have to crawl through it.
Can we blame Leah Brahms for this? Is this her fault?
Yes.
She designed the ship.
Yes.
Hey, we saw
So-
that thing in the last episode, didn't we?
The sort of nebulous. Yeah, it's very similar. Yeah.
In
This one doesn't
actuality,
have
those are
air
not
bars.
metal grates. Those are actually rubber pads, so they're not that uncomfortable to crawl on for the actors. But we're meant to think.
But on the show, are they supposed to be rubber pads? Like in
No,
in
we're meant to
world
think that they're
out
metal for sure.
They're space.
there? Well, so
rubber
why would they?
bands.
Why would they
Then why
design
would
it like
they?
that?
Yeah, why would Starfleet design it that way, where it's extremely
Well,
uncomfortable?
no, it's terrible.
You know?
But I'm just
They're-
saying, the actors didn't actually have to suffer.
Their pants are space pants, so they're comfortable
right.
to crawl on any surface.
They have built-in knee pads.
Did you
Yeah.
write this episode? Like, come on.
I have headcanon for everything. Okay.
Okay. I was going to ask: has anyone seen Marina Sirtis in something other than Star Trek? The only thing I can think of is
Stargate.
Mass
Yeah,
Effect.
was she?
Stargate.
Okay. But she's in Death Wish 3.
With a Russian
but
accent.
She plays
Yeah.
such a victimized role in Death Wish 3. I wouldn't even consider that like a real role.
She was in something recently that I watched. Something like a minor character. I want to say like Titans or something like that.
She was. There were several Star Trek actors,
someone's
including
mom.
Marina. There were several Star Trek actors, including Marina Sirtis, who were used as voice acting in the 1990s,
That's
like
true.
in Gargoyles.
Gargoyles.
She was in the Orville.
Yeah, she was.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, not like as a major character. I think she was the teacher or something. Was that,
Yeah,
am I
Marina does some
remembering that
voice
wrong?
acting in Mass Effect.
I
Well,
remember
isn't
hearing
the
her on
person who
commercials.
played
and
the
things.
Doctor in Orville played Cassidy Yates in DS9?
Right.
Yep,
Penny
yes.
Johnson.
Yeah.
She's great
That's
in
a-
Orville. And in
Yeah,
Deep
she's good.
Space Nine.
She's got
Tim
24.
Russ
Yeah.
plays an archaeologist in the Orville. The Doctor plays a
Someone's
doctor.
father, right?
Yeah, he
Ron
plays a-
Canada.
This
yeah,
we
he
just
plays
saw.
at the end of their relationship right here.
So,
The episode with the major conflict is between the Doctor and Dr. Phlox.
I just wanted to say, first of all, I was starting to get really uppity because I thought everyone was talking over me, but it turns out I've just been muted for the last 10 minutes.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I did that.
Marina Sirtis also has a very similar role in Mass Effect, where she also plays a
Yeah, that's
woman
the
with
thing.
psychic powers, except instead of using them to see how you're feeling, she uses them to like throw tables at you.
Yeah.
She's typecast
a much
as
better use, I think.
as a telepathic person.
Boy,
It's just
well,
weird that she uses the exact same accent, the fake nothing accent in that role. Like it doesn't apply to any real place.
I think this is just how Miranda Sirtis talks. Like,
No,
even-
she's British.
She's a Brit.
She's Greek. I thought she's Greek, isn't she?
I remember
No, her one of her parents is Greek, but she's from Britain.
Yeah, her accent is British anyway.
the
Yeah.
card maneuver.
In Death Wish 3, she plays a Hispanic woman, so that's even more confusing. I was going to say Ron Canada, who we just saw, plays an admiral in the Orville in a few episodes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
I think
remember him.
didn't Jonathan Frakes direct a few episodes and Robert Duncan McNeil directed? an episode?
McNeil's directed a bunch of them, yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, sure, kill the Klingon.
yeah. Worf's the one who really wouldn't have a problem with dying. And,
He's not useful to us anyway.
yeah, he's a little. Yeah, we've seen how useful Worf is in addressing the security situation.
I love how
But
threatening
see,
Data is,
if
though.
he
He just
had-
holds the phaser up to his
if he-
fucking face.
If he had
know?
if he had threatened to kill the baby, Picard would be like, "Whoa, no!" But no, like they're Starfleet officers. They signed up for this. They're always think.
No, shoot the
Pick
baby,
one
shoot
to
the baby.
die.
They know they could.
Pick one to die. Worf. He
Yeah.
just Worf.
This is Worf's fantasy. He wants to die in a.
No, it's not. But it's not battle. He's just standing there getting his face fucking blown off by an android. Like that's not like super honorable in my opinion.
No, but
He
he
does
is
not work on
sacrificing
Data.
himself to save others, and that's very honorable.
Yeah.
Here's a thumbnail.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
I assumed that Patrick Stewart was just standing on a little platform and he got raised up.
Or there's like
Could be wires.
crew members lifting him by his knees or whatever. Yeah.
To give him that little bit of a shaky effect. Just have two people
So-
each holding a foot.
So what do you do once you suck those spirits out? Do you like catch them in a butterfly net?
Yeah, they didn't have any
You
plan
call the
for
Ghostbusters.
after this.
They've got a little glass bottle.
They would have just
It's
gone
like
back in anyway. It's
Legend of Zelda.
No, they
thing.
did have a plan, but they had to
Vacuum
abort
them
it.
up.
Yeah, is it like Evil Dead rules or like how does that work? Yeah.
They had a vacuum cleaner.
Yeah, call the Ghostbusters or get a butterfly net. I don't know.
So if they needed a vacuum cleaner, they'd have to bring in one of those little robots. I don't remember what they're called.
Roombas.
You've seen that
Not a
meme where
Roomba.
the guy's just vacuuming the bridge? They need that guy.
There's an Enterprise outtake where, because of course the view screen isn't actually a screen, it doesn't exist.
Mhm.
There's just some guy walking outside the set in the view screen doing some sweeping.
Yeah, Ryan, I like your intake this week from Enterprise, but my God, does that outtake footage look rough?
That's just what the Enterprise is. That's just what it does. It's really bad.
Yeah, I'm shocked at how there's not a better quality version they had of that.
It's like 1440p, and every other frame is interlaced, so I can't even properly de-interlace it because it's only every other frame.
Weird.
Hey, Data's behind the bar again.
I love all your intakes though, Ryan. They're great. Like
Thank
they're
you.
the only thing on YouTube I'm like, hey, there's another intake. I gotta watch it right away.
Okay.
And they're all nice and short, so it's good. They're just hilarious, some of them.
If you want to support Ryan's Edits YouTube channel, you can subscribe for the low price of 99 cents a month.
If you link Amazon to your Twitch account, you can subscribe to Twitch Prime. If I had a Twitch account, subscribe for free once per month with Twitch Prime to someone else.
And be sure to smash that like button.
Like, comment, subscribe, answer all the polls in the community.
Ring the
tab.
bell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Smash the like button on this
Share
video.
this on your Facebook and Twitter.
Post my videos on Reddit.
Join our Discord server.
So does Guinan just have these controls behind the bar?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything?
She's like Quark, where she is like high level security clearance on her.
Yeah, Guinan can't be here because we didn't want to.
Guinan can literally drive the ship from 10 forward.
Yeah.
Where is she?
I would love
is she
to
on the
see
holodeck?
that.
Where is she right now?
She doesn't do good
Guinan's
with being
off-
confined with the quarters, so she must be somewhere else.
She's off visiting the Twain family, Mark's descendants.
Yeah. She's like on the holodeck playing that laser targeting game, and she has no clue that anything's going wrong.
She's
never went on
fencing.
red alert. Yeah.
She's on the holodeck, pretending to be a nun in a choir.
Yeah, I guess
She's
Whoopi Goldberg was just busy this week.
her daytime television holodeck program.
Yeah, she's on The View. Nice.
She's on The View.
Oh, Brian knows all about the transporters, yo. You can't fool him.
The one time they even mention the shuttle transporters and they can't use them.
So, as I was saying earlier, before I kept thinking people were interrupting me,
Okay.
We've seen Enterprise or like Starfleet officers be so effectively neutralized in so many other episodes. It's hard to imagine that like they only had like one good idea on how to take care of these people. Like they could have done so many different things. They could have like poured in the phaser don't work gas, or or really any kind of gas. They could have used some sort of random radiation field that made everyone pass out, or the weapons not work, or they could have
or nitrous
created
oxide.
Wait, can't the computer neutralize? Because I'm thinking about the time traveler episode where they're like the computer neutralized all of the phasers and stuff inside the shuttle, like as soon as it was open. At the very end of that episode.
I like how the most dramatic moment in this episode is just a bunch of people walking down a hallway. It's just a credit.
They're great.
I mean that unsarcastically. Like that is just a credit to like the tension building that this episode has put us through.
Oh, no.
This is such a huge moment.
It's the cargo bay. Worf.
Look out! They're right behind you.
I can see them. They're right there.
Bouncy Troy hair.
No, those ones are yellow, or not yellow. Those are silver and copper. They're not.
No,
blue,
the big blue barrels they're off screen now, but they were off to the right when they walked in.
Yeah, but he's not standing next to the blue ones.
They'll find him.
Oh, we have to stand up.
Now, why is he so sassy all the time? Why is he so sassy all of a sudden with his logic about ghosts? I don't get this. Where does he get this information of like? I don't think you are.
Captain Picard ain't afraid
He's just
of no
a sassy
ghosts.
man.
He's a sassy man.
Captain Picard will never give up an opportunity to just talk someone to death,
Yeah.
even if they're already a ghost.
He just keeps talking without natural
In one long,
interruption.
incredibly
Incredibly
broken
broken
sentence, moving from topic
moving from topic
From topic to topic, no one had
Thank you, everybody.
It was really
quite
hypnotic.
There they are, blue barrels on the top and the right.
Also, isn't that also from the episode where the only time they show a runabout in
Yes.
Is that true?
Yep.
They had the runabout in that episode, so they could build the back of the DS9 runabout using TNG set budget, and then they never used that set for DS9.
Yeah, I think we mentioned that in the DS9 stream at some point. Yeah.
That cockpit that they use for the runabout too is not the one that becomes the standard cockpit. It's much smaller.
All right, quickly, vent the cargo bay, kill everyone.
It's a very creative thing to do with prisoners. Can you imagine this is the solution in like a justice system, overcrowding of jails? We're going to separate everyone from their body and set them adrift on the storms.
I mean, we do have problems with overcrowding, so that would fix that, so sure.
And then we'll all just get possessed by, Jeffrey Dahmer or someone.
Oh no, it's blue.
No,
Marina, how do you even know what's happening?
That made all the containers blue. Worf!
Worf, watch out!
Everything's blue now!
Honestly, though, the lighting is pretty good.
Yeah, the lighting looks good. The effect, maybe not so much.
Yeah, the effect is not the best, but...
I just feel bad for the ghost that has to possess Molly, and that needs to wait like 10 years to do anything.
So,
It'd be like Rosemary's Baby.
In the cage, we, they're the first Star Trek episode. There's this directive where like anyone who goes to Talos 4 gets like
killed,
instantly executed. Yeah. Do you think? First of all, Talos 4 is a relatively benign planet compared to a place like this. Like, how many directives do you think they have like that?
Isn't that
every single planet we visit ever?
Don't they say that's the only death penalty on the books or something?
Yeah, except for the other thing that carries the death penalty in the original series, which also is the last death penalty they have in their books.
Of course.
All right, I'm going to duck out a little early because someone's calling me, but it's been a good time, everyone. I'll probably see a lot of you tomorrow. Bye.
We'll be back with Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
Yeah, see.
Yeah, tomorrow's episodes are, well, you can get to that, but tomorrow's episodes are great.
Yeah, I can't actually come in. I can't come for Deep Space Nine episodes because I'm still watching Deep Space Nine with my kids, and it would be spoilers.
Oh,
so I can't watch them. We finished TNG though, so I can watch these.
Okay.
Nice. How old are your kids watching TNG?
Well, right now they're 12 and 14.
Okay,
so
that's
they were probably like, a couple years younger than that watching TNG.
Sure.
My favorite episode would probably be Rascals in that case.
Oh, Rascals are so fun. With these two again, right? Because Keiko turns into a child in that episode.
Yeah.
Oh, baby Molly.
Baby Molly. That's not Hannah Hate.
What?
That was also one of my favorite Worf
kind of
lines
weird.
there. Where he says, where Data says, your restraint was remarkable, and Worf is just like, you have no idea. That's a great moment.
Yeah.
So
I just like that
speaking
moment
of that,
where it's like, I almost killed our kid.
Yeah. That time that Riker goes on a date with the androgynous person, that's next week. The Outcast. As well as Worf with his barrel, that's next week.
Oh no.
And the episode that Conundrum is confused with cause and effect with the time loop.
Oh, yay!
Oh, those are
good episodes.
Those are such good episodes.
So yeah, next week is all.
Next week is solid.
Tomorrow, Deep Space Nine is also solid. It's going to be it's a week when I'm not sure if this counts as a two-parter. It's going to be For the Uniform with Eddington and the War Crimes.
Oh gosh, yeah.
And then In Purgatory Shadow and Bio Inferno's Light, which aren't technically labeled as two-parters, but it kind of is a two-parter. That's the Dominion prison camp.
They're definitely sibling episodes. I think we should count them as a two-parter, personally.
I already made the thumbnail where I already included the next episode, Dr. Bashir, I presume. So now I'm committed.
Oh my
I'm not gonna
god,
remake
that's
the
a great
thumbnail.
episode. Yeah.
Dr. Bashir, I presume, with the Doctor, and Dr. Bashir.
Robert Picardo.
Robert
Yeah,
Picardo.
Dr. Zimmerman.
And a little bit of EMH being all upset.
No, we get we get Eddington, we get lots of Garrick, and then we get Robert Picardo. Like tomorrow's gonna be fucking awesome.
We are in peak Star Trek at this point. Alright, so yeah, tomorrow really good Deep Space Nine. Next week, really good TNG, and then next week Deep Space Nine is okay.
Yeah, we get a simple investigation, I think, at that point, which is an okay episode. Yeah, but
it has the lady from the physicist lady.
It's got Dae Young from Rock and Roll High School.
And then we finally get to meet Cousin Gayla next week.
Oh, wait, is that the weapons episode? That's a good one.
That is, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's a really good episode. Cousin Gayla, he owns his own moon. Everybody loves Cousin Gayla.
How easy we talked? I remember talking about this before. How easy is it to own a planet or a moon in Star Trek?
It's got to be really hard because even though there's a lot of moons, there's a lot of people.
Yeah, and it is an accomplishment for Cousin Gayla. It's not just it's not.
I mean, what are you supposed to do with a moon other than mine it?
They probably have squatters' rights.
Is it like how you can like own a star if you mail away, you get a certificate and it has your name on it.
Oh yeah, and it's so meaningless, and it's just like it's clearly just like I don't have any gift ideas for you because I don't know you very well.
Well, that started. That stupid commercialization idea started from somebody doing that in real life. It was a very, very creative idea, and unfortunately, it got commoditized.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
so
I'm
this
sure
is something
that
the Ferengi would love, though.
And I'm sure that when we get to the 2400s and we have warp drive, I'm sure that we're going to honor all those certificates and the names that the stars are.
Oh yeah, we're gonna. I love to see them like go and orbit a star, and then it'll be like, oh yeah, this is Bob Jones' star.
Yeah, we're approaching planet Bob.
Okay, in any case, that's enough for today. We'll be back tomorrow with Deep Space Nine, and then, every week as we do until we're done with all of Star Trek, every single series, eventually.
And then
3 or
ritual
4 years.
suicide. Yeah, and then ritual suicide. It's fine.
And then then we're done. It's over.
It's fine.
Goodbye.
Oh no.
All right. Goodbye. Bye, everybody.